Welcome to G-Force TV and the sights and sounds of one of the top tourist destinations here in Ontario. We're in Sauble, Ontario, and Sauble Beach is only about 5 kilometers down the road. This bull ring provides some amazing action, and we got some hometown stars that are going to try and get it done with the best of the United Racing Series. The situation has changed a lot since the last time we were here. This is our second race of the season, and to talk about what's different this time in the points is my broadcast partner, Jamie Maudsley.
A month ago when we were here last, J.R. Fitzpatrick had a healthy point lead over the rest of the field. He got into a late race altercation with Flying Ryan Kimball, put him to the back. He had to fight his way through the field. The big beneficiary of that was Josh Stoddy, able to capture his first win of the year. But the other beneficiary right down there, Kyle Steckley, driver of the 22 Quick Wick APC machine. He's only 12 points behind Fitzpatrick now, despite Fitzpatrick winning the last time out at Sunset. You got a whole bunch of guys that could win here tonight. If I was going to make the call on a first-time winner going to victory lane, probably Flying Ryan Kimball tonight. If he can put it in the top 10, he's going to start near the front. Definitely going to be a challenge for these leaders to work their way by as the race goes on. Back to Clint with another driver making his debut this season, Joe Lawrence.
Thanks, Jamie. I'm here with the 2020 champ, Joe Lawrence. Joe, you've been out of the car. You get the call from Danny Benedict. How excited are you to get into this fill-in role tonight?
I was actually pretty nervous at the start. Once we got in there for practice, I think I'm starting to knock the rust off that I've had. Starting to come around. We've made a bunch of changes. The crew's worked super hard, so I got to thank them, Danny, for this opportunity. And really, we're just going to make the best of it and see what we can do with these top guys.
Joe Lawrence dominated this season in 2020, guys. Watch for him to get back behind the wheel, and we'll be right back to get it all going here live on G-Force TV.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on G-Force TV.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick Wick perfected fire. Quick Wick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick Wick retailer at quickwick.com.
I've always had the spirit that I wanted to invent something new, and so when we got into clothing, I got immersed into it, and the only way that you would really understand how to build clothing is to become a pattern maker. That pattern maker concept started becoming very interesting to me because I went, I can make this better. Love it. Absolutely love designing. Doesn't matter whether it's a garment or an engine or a car, decals on our race cars. I love doing it. That's my forte.
Welcome back to Sauble Beach, live here on G-Force TV, APC Series qualifying, getting ready to go. Jamie Maudsley up in the booth, the 86, first one out, followed by the 89. Couple of Flamborough regulars going to bring us here to qualifying.
Yeah, the Spire Fire Protection high-grade roofing machine, Billy the Kid Schwarzenberg out of Guelph in the green 86. The 89 London Recreational Racing sponsor machine out of the Plattsville Drumbo Interkip corridor. Sean Chenoweth Also sponsored by Mannheim Apex Oil. Got to 52, guy who struggled in practice here today, Jake Sheridan. He was a winner here back in 2021. He drives the Cameron Cranes Pride Seeds. Sponsored 52 entry, also Vibrant Farms on the side of that car. The Mount Bridges driver winner a week ago Friday at Delaware Speedway in regular Friday night competition. James Horner in the custom forming number 79 machine, and making his first appearance of the year, Zach Sprung in the 4X, sponsored by Car Audio and Tobermory Marine. Zach Sprung, one of our regulars here at Sauble, getting his feet wet in the APC series. We'll see what Jake Sheridan can come up with here. Again, they were scratching their heads. That white chassis has worked so well at Delaware and Peterborough, but they have struggled to get it working here at Sauble Speedway. We'll see what Jake can do. There's James Horner in the 79. Again, qualifying underway.
So, Jamie, is it an advantage or disadvantage to be out this early, are you thinking?
I would say you probably want to go later in the session, because obviously, even though it's very incremental, it is cooling off. And obviously the cooler temperatures creates a little bit more horsepower and a little bit more grip, as opposed to this greasy surface that has the sun beating down on it all day. Jake Sheridan, your number one qualifier, at a 14.376. Chenoweth at a 4.35. Horner at a 4.38, so they're close. Sheridan seems to have found a little bit of time over the rest of them. Zach Sprung will time in 5th, Billy Schwarzenberg 4th.
Yeah, 5 laps, and we see them working through it. The best laps for a lot of these drivers were around lap number 4. And one was the 4th place driver, Billy Schwarzenberg. His 5th lap was the best. So it is taking them a few laps to get in the groove and work it out. And we'll bring out our next crew, led out by Dale Shaw.
Yeah, usually laps 3, 4, or 5 are the best. The first and second are kind of throwaways to get everything up to speed and up to temperature. There's Dale Shaw in the 83 machine, that NTN bearing sponsored entry out of Guelph. Right behind him, the 74, another one of the Shaw Motorsports cars. SDR seating and stage it with styles. Sponsors on Dundas's Eric Della Riva's number 74. 81, Andrew Gressel, Sauble Falls Tent and Trailer Park, Canadian Union of Skilled Workers. Sponsors on that 81 machine, former series champ and a home track boy. And you got the 10S. It's a Smoke Gord Shepherd out of Barrie, Ontario. And as you see Della Riva now working down the backstretch, there's Shepherd to the line. And the McMaster GMC sponsored entry of Jordan House. There is the 81 of Gressel. They were 16th fastest in practice, which is not where they wanted to be. I had a chance to talk to some of crew members. They said basically they threw everything but the kitchen sink at this car before qualifying. The only reason they didn't throw that at it was because they left the sink at home.
You know, Jamie, you and I had to talk about how racing kind of goes in ebb and flows. Some season it's your season, other years you just can't seem to catch a break no matter what you do. Same guys doing the same thing. It's interesting how racing plays out that way.
Well, we were talking about Andrew Gressel. He had that year back in 2017, I believe. He made 13 starts between the Pro Late Model and the Super Late and picked up 9 wins. And then the next thing you know, he's struggling to qualify for the Canadian Short Track Nationals. You know, Trevor Monahan beat him out at the last minute. So definitely it's a humbling sport. But Gressel's still trying to get to the top of that mountain. He is quick so far, though. A 14.259, Shaw second quick, Gord Shepherd third. Now Gord Shepherd up to P2 on his last lap. So it's Gressel, Shepherd, Shaw, Sheridan, and Della Riva, your top 5. 10 cars have made time. Bumping will pursue. So, Clint, interesting way that we handicap things. For those of you who aren't too familiar with our qualifying procedure, the cars will be locked in. The top 10 get locked into the top 10 spots. But then what we do is we flip-flop the top 10 based on points inversion. So J.R. Fitzpatrick, Kyle Steckley, Josh Stoddy, the guys that are 1, 2, 3 in points, if they qualify in the top 10, there's a chance they're going to be starting back 10th, 9th, 8th deep in the field here tonight.
I'm a huge fan of this format, Jamie. I think it's fair. Oh, and we see Blair Wickett goes around on the front straightaway, gassing it up there. Not sure if he's just trying to warm up the tires. And Sean Gibbs has the green in hand. I don't think we'll drop it this time. And talk about Blair Wickett, what a challenge he's had. I mean, they put this car back together 3 times. That car, if they can keep the drive shaft in it tonight, Jamie, that will be a success for them. They have struggled the last few events majorly with the rear end mechanically on that machine.
He's in the JP Powder Coating, Vincent Lawn Equipment, Rimat Storage number 97, the Polar Blair Wickett out of Cambridge. One of the 4 Shaw Motorsports entries here this evening. There's the bully Dwayne Baker in the Zancor Homes sponsored number 49. He's from Stayner, Ontario. B&B Towing and Nisco National Leasing also sponsors on that 48 machine. You see the bully off turn 2 and down the backstretch. Other cars in this session, the 54, normally piloted by Danny Benedict. Benedict not in the house tonight. He's got a pretty sizable or pretty capable substitute driver behind the wheel, 2020 champ Joe Lawrence behind the controls of that 54. And there you see the 54, normally driven by Danny Benedict. Joe Lawrence out of London behind the controls of that Mobil 1 B&W Enterprises Epic Racewear sponsored entry. Connor James also out there in the 4, sponsored by SSG Gloves. Connor had a bad wreck at Delaware back July weekend. Ended up forcing him to miss one of the events. Had a banged up wrist, but he's returned and looking pretty good here so far tonight in qualifying. He's quickest of the cars that are on track right now. Well, how about Blair Wickett to the top of the board? So Wickett is number 1 now, Gressel number 2, James is number 3, then it's Joe Lawrence, Gord Shepard, Dale Shaw, Jake Sheridan, Eric Della Riva, Sean Chenoweth, and James Horner rounding out your top 10. We thought there might be a chance that the record might fall here tonight, but I think it's still just a bit too warm, and it's an old one. You got to go all the way back to August 5th of 2017. Track record here, 14.030 seconds by Brandon Watson, who is also the all-time leading winner here at Sauble with 4 victories. But the second on that list with 3 wins here at Sauble, he's out there right now to take time. The 21, the Global Warranties Cadillac Industrial Cleaning entry, also sponsored by Courtesy Ford. That's Matt Pertico out of London. There is the CM Precision Machine, Rick Spencer Walt. Again, he banged up his knee a few weeks ago, Clint. He was supposed to go in for surgery. We heard there was going to be a substitute driver, but it is Rick Spencer Walt. The surgery got postponed, so Rick Spencer Walt said, geez, I tried to brace, it didn't work. I put the other one on, I'm going to strap in. It's going to hurt like heck, but we're going racing here tonight. Man, 2 weeks ago, he put on a hell of a show at Sunset with that knee. And I got to tell you, Rick's a big, tough dude. When you hear him groan getting in the car, I couldn't believe I felt so bad for him, but he went out there, put on a hell of a show, held him off till almost the end, and good to see him out here. But you got to think, Jamie, he's still got to be racing with pain, and it's the throttle knee that hurts. So it's not like you can just pump the clutch and get it in gear and leave it. He's rolling that knee all night long. Yeah, and big news for Rick. His boy Jake won his first junior late model feature up at Sunset Speedway a few weeks ago. So congratulations to Jake Spencer Walt for his first career win. Now Rick says, I got to get some more horsepower out of the thing.
Pretty soon he'll be coming, hey, Dad, I'm your substitute driver. Don't worry about it. I got the 31 out here.
Well, Rick, he said the motor that they're using on his kid's go-kart, it was Kyle Steckley's motor back years and years ago. And Steckley's been a late model for a few years. There were mini stocks before that, so it's an old piece. He's got to get it freshened now that his boy can take it to the front. And there is Kyle Steckley, second in points in the A.W. Millwright Quick APC sponsored number 22 machine.
Been the hot story this year.
12 points behind the 84 of Fitzpatrick heading into tonight. Again, championship on the line.
It's hard to believe that Fitzpatrick is not just running away with it. You know, he seems so dominant, but the fact that Steckley's still in there shows how tight this series really is.
Rick Spencer Walt, no pain, no gain. He takes it to the top of the board with the 14.224. Wickett second, Steckley third. And Steckley remains third as he completes his final lap. Also out there taking time was Tom Gibbons in the 10. Tom had a top 5 finish last time we were here, back 4 weeks ago. Tom will time in 10th right now. So it's Wickett, Steckley, Gressel, James, Spencer Walt, Wickett, Steckley, Gressel, James, your top 5. Then Joe Lawrence, Gord Shepard, Matt Pritigo, Dale Shaw, and Tom Gibbons go back to 10th. This is your final group. So right now you got Tom Gibbons on the hot seat. I can't see that time standing up, nor Dale Shaw's. Matt Pritigo probably not as well. These are the fastest of the drivers I would expect. All 4 of them to time into the top 10, but doesn't always happen like that. First car that will be taking time is the SMG Motorsports J-Beck Construction number 29, Flying Ryan Kimball. He's led a lot of laps on tour this year, and again, he's got that benefit. Hasn't been able to finish too many deals. So if he can put it in the top 10, he'll be right up front come feature time tonight. That's the driver from Norwood, Ontario. Then you get your point leader down the backstretch, the 84, J.R. Fitzpatrick. There's winner last time out at Sauble. And home track favorite, Josh Stoddy. Interesting story about that car. So Josh Stoddy's got 2 cars. One is the green, primarily done up with Ridgeline lubricants. The other one is a yellow car, done up with primary sponsor Canadian Flat Roof Systems. This was supposed to be a race for the yellow car, but Clint, that green car ran so well a month ago, they brought it back.
Yeah, it's hard to give up success, you know, but then he came back and won with the yellow car the next night. So, well, I wonder what the feeling was that made them think that one was going to be better.
Well, they put it in the top 4 in practice, obviously. Quick, the 4th car out taking time. Right behind him is the 3 of Shea Gemmell. 1 feature win on tour, and it came here, so he knows how to get it done. That car was really cutting well through the corners earlier on today in practice. Can you send APC, the sponsor, on Gemmell's car? And we see Stoddy up to 6th. That's the first solid time of this group, but expect him to start climbing. White flag out for Kimball. He's up into the top 10 and 5th. Now J.R. Fitzpatrick goes to 5th. Times are clicking off fast now. Stoddy to 3rd. Kimball on his last lap stays 7th. Fitzpatrick, he's 6th to the line. All the way up to 3rd for J.R. Josh Stoddy, P1, with a 19.196. So he saves the best for last.
Very last.
And the winner here a month ago, Josh Stoddy, in that Ridgeline Lubricants machine, P1.
Got the number 1 out the window. He knows it, Jamie. What a drive we saw, and what a great story it was here. We came earlier in the summer to see Stoddy get one done. He's been so fast out on the tour, had some mechanical issues, and you know, it's just good. We'll be running a feature on Josh later on in the program, and we'll talk to him a little bit.
Well, he's one of those guys, he came so close so many times, Clint. Number of 3rd and 4th place finishes, he was always there, just could never close the deal. And he's got a tremendous amount of respect from the guys that he races with because he does race so clean. I'm sure there was a lot of guys that if they couldn't win back here a month ago, they were happy to see Josh finally go to victory lane in an APC race. So we'll run down the qualifying order for you here as time trials wrap up. The top 10 cars will be locked in the top 10 spots. Again, we will invert them based on point standings. Josh Stoddy, P1, with a 19.196, just a little less than 0.2 of a second off the track record set back in 2007. Rick Spencer Walt second, Blair Wickett third, J.R. Fitzpatrick comes in 4th, and Kyle Steckley qualifies 5th. Andrew Gressel timed in 6th, Ryan Kimball 7th, Connor James 8th, Joe Lawrence 9th, and Shea Gemmell rounds out the top 10. 11th, just missing the invert, the 10S of Gord Shepard. Matt Pritigo 12th. 13th went to Dale Shaw, 14th to Tom Gibbons, 15th went to Jake Sheridan, Eric Delariva timed in 16th. Sean Chenoweth was 17th. 18th, James Horner. 19th was Junior Farley. 20th, Dwayne Baker. 21st, Billy Schwartzenberg. 22nd, Jordan House. And 23rd in the 4X, Zach Sprung. So I would imagine that's going to put the 29 of Kimball on the pole. I believe Connor James should be 10th because he has missed a race. And you're going to see Steckley and Fitzpatrick start deep in the field. We'll be back with more APC 100 action on G-Force TV right after this.
On the scene since 1949, Fast Eddie was born with a lead foot and a burning need for speed. His passion for speed and sport has been captured in this authentic collection of vintage-themed gear. Created for gearheads, riders, and racers, Fast Eddie truly encompasses the great Canadian racing culture we have from coast to coast. Drive hard, get dirty, and look good doing it. Fast Eddie Speedwear. Get geared up.
Well, welcome back live to Sauble Beach here live on G-Force TV. We get ready to go. With the four cylinders, Jamie up in the booth, got a special guest there, I think. We're going to get ready to call this action.
Yeah, joining me here is Dave.
I think I'm joining you here, yeah. Hi, Clinton. Hi, everyone. We are excited to be able to bring you the four cylinders now. I guess one of the big things to describe to fans on G-Force is our breakout rule that we have here at Sauble Speedway. So the four-cylinder class has been growing based on this breakout rule. You can race anything with a four-cylinder, four tires, and it's got to have fenders. After that, there's no rule. It's pretty straightforward. Your fast time is 17.5. So if you go any faster than a 17.5 second lap, you will receive notification from the starters, and from the starter stand, you have to let 3 cars go by. If you do that with 5 laps to go in the race, you're disqualified from the race. So if you're going to break out, you want to break out early. What it's allowed is for us to be able to have mini stocks and bone stocks and all sorts of, even dirt cars have come here to take this on. And it's added this little extra thing called consistency. You got to be fast, but you got to be consistent.
Well, being a regular at Delaware Speedway, we kind of saw this program, and they've went to it with our V8 stock class. And they put some big money up a couple weeks ago, $750 to win. And what happened was all these guys with V8s, piece of cake, I got a fast car, right? I'll just go out and take everybody's $750. The guys that did well, the guys that have been racing the program all year long because they knew what they were doing. So it's intriguing. At Delaware, for example, we've gone from 4 cars to last night without even a big payout. We had 12 cars there. So I've seen what it's done here at Sauble, and it's worked for us here at Delaware. And I think it's a great program. And I mean, you talk to drag racers, it's saved drag racing.
Oh, and it's going to save pavement. It's going to save oval track racing as well. It's brought our field from 6 to 10 to 12 to 14 on a regular basis, and on special nights we'll have 20. And it's exactly the same thing. Cars come from all over the place to try this out. They get out here, they break out during practice. We've seen them do everything from put a piece of wood underneath the gas pedal to putting stoppers on things, everything they could possibly do so that you don't don't lose that driver mentality, which is, I got to go as fast as I can lap after lap after lap. That's not necessarily true now.
And it's not that it makes the racing better or worse. Yeah. It makes it different.
It does.
It's just a different mindset. And again, we had a first-time winner for the big $750 to win race a week ago Friday. It's a kid that's raced every single lap this year and has not broke out. He knew what he was doing. And the guys who came out with the fast cars, they broke out.
Well, I actually watched the Delaware broadcast last night, and I think you're probably going to see it at some point. Sneak into that four-cylinder class, too. You got some faster cars and some slower cars, and what it's done is brought the whole field right tight together, side by side. Nobody gets lapped. If you let the car get too far in front of you, you have no chance to catch it because you're limited to how fast you can go. We've had a couple of breakouts tonight. A car that's never broken out before broke out tonight, and he'll be the happiest guy in the pits for sure.
Wade Thorne on the point. John Van Dyke alongside him in the 1. A little farfanugan out of the rabbit. The 63 is Cole Burrows. 28, Chris Lawrence. 17, Jennifer Hatch.
I think that's the 44 on the outside, so that is Matt McDonald. He's been driving that car for about 3, maybe 4 weeks here at Sauble.
73, I'll let you do his name.
Yeah, 73 is Scott Schluter on the outside. That's the 08 of Pat Farrow. Pat Farrow's gone from back to the front of this field because of our timed laps. 71 is Gary Jones on the outside. The 518, that is Steve Hurd. Brand new car for Steve Hurd tonight. And then we have the 29, which I believe is the first night for Jared Jeffrey to try this.
So out of turn 4 they come. Wade Thorne, I believe he's a Flamborough regular. Doing pretty good out there in the 46X.
Yeah, Wade's been here. He races sometimes Friday night on the dirt and then comes back here for Saturday racing at Sauble Speedway. John Van Dyke, that car is super quick, but remember, super quick is only one part of running with this breakout rule. So John Van Dyke is going to try to run with Thorne as long as possible, and then with maybe 2 laps to go, put the pedal to the metal, take the chance you're going to break out. That's the only way you can win this.
So 17.7's the time up front, and 17.5 is our breakout, correct?
Correct. 17.5 is the breakout time. Drivers have no way to know that, by the way. There's no one telling them what the time is because they have a one-way communication radio, and that communication is with our starters tower, and the only reason for that is to tell them they went too fast.
So Chris Lawrence, he showed up here today, was struggling to find speed in that car because it is a bone stock 4-cylinder that runs at Delaware. He did put a couple different front tires on it. They wanted to get the speed down, took the hood and the trunk off it.
Get a little weight out.
He was shy taking the trunk off because his team is BT Racing, and there's a big BT Racing decal on the back, but it looks like speed won over vanity here for Lawrence.
Well, you know what? Weight is a huge part of this, right? Because you're going to be racing against some cars that have certainly more horsepower than you do. So where you can save the weight, that's the one thing we found out about these cars. Tires and weight and setup. That's really what you need to get to that breakout time because you only have to get to it. Any faster than 17.5 does not do you any good whatsoever.
You can go as fast as you want. Just don't go too fast.
That's exactly what happens. And the front 2 are starting to pull away a little bit here. Wade Thorne on the outside. The one of John Van Dyke tucked right in behind. Then it's maybe 10 car lengths back to the second row. And that second row is holding up a whole bunch of cars. So we have the 63 of Cole Burrows, and we have that Lawrence car, Chris Lawrence on the outside. Van Dyke gets sideways coming out of turn 4 as I think he came down a little bit early onto the 29 of Jeffrey, but straightens it out.
Caution on the speedway.
We pick up a caution flag. I think it might have been because of that as Jeffrey now goes around.
And both Thorne and Van Dyke in the 17.5s, but just
that's it.
Don't go under.
Don't go under. And what you see is happening here is we've got the 46 car is really based on a dirt car. The 1 car is definitely a pavement car. You already talked about Chris Lawrence running really a bone stock, a Delaware bone stock. And there's so many different cars going back through the field. But we are 8 laps deep and there's nobody that's any more than half a lap out of this. The 29 car, or sorry, the Jared Jeffrey car struggling a little bit.
We'll get the replay of that contact, and there you see the 29 going around. Great drone shot, and the white moment from the driver who was trying to get around him.
I don't know who your drone flyer is, but that man is unbelievable.
He's good. He's good.
Holy.
His whole goal this year, he's told me, you know Billy Zardo's Oscar Hot Rod?
Yeah.
He wants to fly the drone through the wing. That's his goal for the year, to fly it through the wing of Billy Zardo's car.
So, guys, the crazy thing about Abby, he never came to a race before he met us. So he's not even a race fan. He's just still learning the sport. So wait till we give him a season or two under his belt. It's only going to get crazy. I want to welcome his wife and beautiful daughter, Sid, here today. Their first race, so hopefully they're having a good time. They came up to the beach today, and everybody's enjoying the tourism side of things here.
Hey, I'm wondering why he's not doing that professional drone racing thing that you see on like ESPN. He should be out taking part in that.
Said he's watched it on TV.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something about Abby. He was on Chopped, Canada. Finished second a few years back. He's actually a chef and quite the Renaissance man.
Oh, wow. Cook and fly.
What a great addition to our team, though. So to Abby's family, thank you for letting us have him again.
All right, we got him lined back up with 8 laps in the book. I believe we're running a 20-lap feature tonight. So they're running for $500 tonight. The same division will be back next weekend, final weekend here at Sauble Speedway as we go for our Boss of the Beach weekend. They're going to run for $1,000 next Saturday night. Same rules that we're doing tonight. And then the Boss of the Beach competition on Sunday. Looking forward to a great weekend, but boy, has this summer ever gone by quickly. Holy.
It's gone by in a hurry for sure. It's hard to believe it's almost Labor Day.
Wow.
Almost Great Canadian Weekend, as I like to call September.
Definitely. And here at the beach, it means the lineup will go from the stoplight all the way out to the Speedway. Friday night, you better get to Sauble Beach early. And you better get to the track early. We race 7 o'clock Saturday night, 6 o'clock Sunday night.
And then the Tuesday after Labor Day, Ghost Town.
Yes.
Ghost Town.
Yeah, you can get a good deal on a rental.
The locals will be happy again, right?
Oh, you know what? We love it when everybody comes to visit us. We got so many great things in the area. And having APC here for a couple of times this summer, we really appreciate having you guys here.
Well, there's something about Lake Huron. I got to spend the last week on a cottage at Grand Bend, and it was... something about Lake Huron, coming to places like Grand Bend and, of course, Sauble. And
I live in Port Elgin. Best sunsets in Ontario. We rival Sauble. You can come check them out yourself and then make the decision. All right, so it's Thorne and Van Dyke back up on the front row, and you can see how Van Dyke washes up a little bit. I think more than anything, John probably gave that position to Thorne, and here's why. That little car works so well on the low side. Van Dyke wants to be there. Thorne wants to be on the high side, so they're both where they want to be. Question is, who's going to be first to get to the start-finish line? Back a little bit to the 63 of Cole Burrows and the 28 of Lawrence. As Lawrence, boy, if that is a true bone stock, they're doing an amazing job, because we find the bone stocks have a tough time getting through the corners here at Sauble. But if that's the case, he needs to come here and run more. I know he has a lot of success at Delaware. He'd have a lot here, too.
Well, if you look at the left front of that car, it's almost like a modified. He's got so much offset in it, trying to get the track width as wide as possible.
And now the ladies are coming to life. Jennifer Hatch in the 17 up and into 5th spot. Here comes the 08 of Pat Farrow. That car for about a 4-week period here at Sauble Speedway, that yellow 08 car was unbeatable for about 4 weeks. It's taken them 4 years to work on that car, but boy, they've done an amazing job of getting it to be one of the most competitive 4-cylinder cars in the province today. And that battle for up front continues. It's Van Dyke still looking on the low side. It's Thorne still working the high side. And we're going to see this back and forth for this entire race. And it's not just there. It's about that 10 car lengths behind to the 63 of Burrows and the 28 of Lawrence, and they've been side by side for 5-10 laps now almost. And that's the kind of battles that this 17.5 second lap thing has done. 5 laps to go in the feature tonight. It's a 20 lap feature. Thorne has been hot. Van Dyke has been hot. Farrow has been hot. 71 of Jones has been hot. They are the cars to really keep your eyes on.
Well, Lawrence has cleared that battle. He's got third place all to himself now. Jennifer Hatch to the inside of Barrows. Hatch was down in the 17.6 range, so a tight pack of cars all racing for third as DeFarfanugan takes another spin down in turn one, that wascally wabbit.
Oh, Lawrence gets a little loose, and now we're going 3 wide. This can't get much tighter. It works 3 wide in the straightaway, but it does not work in the corner here at Sauble Speedway.
So the one of Van Dyke still chewing away at Wade Thorne. Thorne ran a 5 last time, a 7 that time. They are teetering right on the edge of that breakout.
How good is that, though, when you as a driver can run that lap time after time after time? The drivers here all tell you the same thing. It's strange the first time you do it, but you're a better driver for it. And they're going to go side by side, final lap, Thorne on the outside, Van Dyke on the inside. If you're going to break out, who cares now? Go for it.
Oh, Van Dyke up into Thorne, slows him down. Probably get them both under the breakout time. Wade Thorne's going to go to victory lane. And
Van Dyke for second. It'll be Jennifer Hatch for third. Schluter, after 7 years, not racing at Sauble Speedway, fourth, and I think the 63 in the top 5, and that is Cole Burrows.
And if they hadn't got together down there in 4, I don't know if one or both of them might have broken out. Wade Thorne, again, a longtime regular at Flamborough Speedway. Done a bit of racing in Delaware this year as well.
How about that, fans? That's what the breakout time does. Side-by-side racing for 20 laps. The front 2 side-by-side. Third and fourth side-by-side. Give them a nice round of applause. That is talented drivers when you can just do the same lap, lap after lap after lap. I think Wade might be happy.
Well, guys, Wade Thorne gets it done. You know, Wade, pretty good deal for you. You've been running this car up here a lot, also running on the dirt. You got it done. Talk about this breakout situation, something you're into.
It's pretty fun. I mean, we go pretty much full send on the Friday night at Schwiegen. We had a pretty good run last night, so our car came apart. But it's nice to come up here and run so affordably, and we don't have to spend all week wrenching to try and find tenths out of this car. We can just make sure it's consistent and it's fast.
Solid drive, Wade. Congrats.
Thank you.
Wade Thorne gets another one done here at the beach, guys.
And we did find out after the fact the 71 of Gary Jones and the 08 of Pat Farrow both broke out on lap 19.
Cheaters, both of them.
and I'll tell you what, I driving a 4-cylinder, I will be the happiest breakout in the history of the world. So they both break out. They both end up going to the back of the field. But what a great race. And I'm telling you, we have seen this. Well, obviously, we didn't see it at the beginning, but we are seeing it all the time.
Well, there you saw Wade Thorne down there, a proud owner of a brand new surfboard. We'll be back on GeForce TV, APC 100 night here at Sauble Speedway. Thanks for joining us. We'll return in a couple minutes.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick Quick perfected fire. Quick Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick Quick retailer at quickquick.com.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
So who exactly is Fast Eddie? More than just a man, it's the mindset that runs through our blood like oil through an engine. Whether on the track or on the street, Fast Eddie is the spirit that drives us to go fast and keep going. Born in 1949 with no time to look in the rearview mirror. Every story is worth telling, and every piece of Fast Eddie apparel has its own. Celebrate our mindset. This is Fast Eddie. This is combustion culture. FastEddieSpeedwear.com.
Welcome back to the APC 100 evening. Sauble Speedway. Hynix Canadian Legends just getting out onto the track for their feature event tonight. Dave, we're having a good night so far.
Let's not jinx it. We haven't seen the moon yet. Full moon is usually not a good thing here at Sauble. So the INEX Legend Cars, this is our second national qualifier of the year. So there are 3 divisions of INEX racing actually all together tonight. Semi-Pro, Pro, and Masters. The top car in each of those divisions from this feature get an automatic berth at the Nationals, which happen in Las Vegas in the fall. They'll race against all of the top legend cars all across Canada and all across America. So this is a very, very important feature race for them tonight.
Be a long road trip to Las Vegas.
Most of them don't take their own car. They actually rent a car down there because it is so far to go before they can get there. All right, so let's look at the front row, and this has been a hot car here over the last few weeks at Sauble Speedway. It's Wes Cuthbertson in the 97, and on the outside, the 90 of Jordan Latimer. We've got another Cuthbertson in the race on the second row. Second row on the inside, that's the 17Z of Zach Latimer, and on the outside will be the 79 of Adam Cuthbertson. Inside of row 3, the 60 of Parker Traves, and outside the 33 of Paul Purick. Parker Traves, by the way, has not lost a race yet tonight. The 51J of Josh Inglis. Outside 00, Joe Adams, a regular here at Sauble Speedway in just about everything you can race here at the track. As we've got the double greens, and we are underway for the INEX Legend Cars.
How about Joe Adams getting it done early in that 00, squirted right through the middle, picked up a whole bunch of spots. Meanwhile, out front, it's Wes Cuthbertson showing the way off turn 4, lap 1 in the books this time by. Cuthbertson leads the way down into 1.
And it's 2 Cuthbertsons. The cars look the same, reversed numbers. Adam, his brother, back a couple of positions. The 2 of them got together, I guess that was 3, maybe 4 weeks ago here at Sauble Speedway. Took each other out of the race, and then they climbed back through the field and got right back to the front to battle for the win that night. They are 2 super fast cars. Not an easy thing to do here at Sauble Speedway, but for some reason, the Cuthbertsons have figured this thing out.
That would have been an interesting conversation around the dinner table the next night for Sunday dinner. Out front, Wes Cuthbertson showing the way. The 90 of Jordan Latmore goes second. Now Adam Cuthbertson to the inside. Battle for second. Trying to get that car to cut. Can't handle Lattimore down into 1. He's going to try again.
And it is so hard to get that car to stick until you get 4, maybe 5 laps in. We saw that APC qualifying earlier tonight. Third lap was the fast lap. Same thing is true. These cars don't have a lot of weight in them, so it takes a little while to get that heat into the right front, right rear tire. Once you do, they really stick like glue, and we're getting to that point in the race now, and here's what you see. The Cuthbertsons.
Oh, Parker Traves to the inside, goes 3 wide, bounces off the curb. Bounces off the 17, gets sideways, tries to save it, tries to lose it, and finally goes around. He tried to crash that thing for about 200 feet.
They're such, and he's got a flat right rear on that car.
And he hit the inside curb the lap before that and got that 60 car all bent out of shape. That time he just went and stuffed it in there way too late. You're going to see a replay. Here's Parker Taves. Yeah, off the curb, bounced off the 17, almost into the fence. That was an eventful few couple hundred feet for Parker Taves.
The only thing you're waiting for as a driver in that position is the sound. And it's a very distinctive sound when you can hear the other car hitting. But, yeah, and he stayed off the wall. The most important part of that whole thing was no contact with the wall at a turn 4.
Well, he looked like he was going to send it into 3, and then almost he got down there and thought, I probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
And by then he was already inside of the other 2 cars and up over the curb and all out of shape. And, it's a blessing we just didn't wad up 3 or 4 cars right there.
Well, and it doesn't look like much, especially if you're watching on the broadcast, but here live at the Speedway. That rumble strip on the inside doesn't look like much, but these cars only have 1 inch to 1.5 inches of clearance. It doesn't take much to throw the balance off. You get down into that rumble strip with the APC car, probably not going to feel it, but you're really going to feel it in these cars.
I think these cars got a little less suspension than
a lot less.
APC cars have, but a good job by Parker Taves of not putting it in the fence. He's going to live to fight another day here. He's got some work cut out for him, starting from the back of the pack, though.
That's the absolute scariest ride in racing, when you're coming out of the corner at the part where they're all getting on the gas and you realize that you can't get on the gas, so somebody is coming up into you pretty hard pretty quick. And he'll have time to get that tire changed. No doubt we'll get that car back out to the tail end of the field.
They still got 15 laps, I believe, to get her done. So Parker Taves, quick trip down pit road to get that tire replaced, and a good night for the Cuthbertson so far. Get the 97 of Wes Cuthbertson leading the way. Adam Cuthbertson in second. And Clint, we should give a big shout out to our buddy Adam Ross. It was his birthday last week, and he couldn't join us tonight because he's down in La Belle Province, but we definitely miss Adam. Hope he has had a good time at iCar today, and hopefully he's watching the broadcast, and we'll look forward to getting back out at it with him in a few weeks.
So I ran into Adam in St. John's, Newfoundland earlier this year. No, we weren't just walking down the street. It was a bar. We were having a good time, and I hadn't seen Adam for quite a while.
Most good stories start with first we went into the bar.
Yes. Or I met Adam as the other one. For the fans live here at Sauble Speedway, we're going to do the 50-50 draw between the end of this race and the APC feature. So get your tickets ready. Over $500 to give away to the winner tonight.
Adam Cuthbertson, like he was shot out of a cannon in that 79. He's going to get to the bottom. It's got Wes Cuthbertson breathing down his neck. The 33 goes third. That's Paul Piank in that 33, but now he's got Lattimore to the inside. Jordan Lattimore taking a spin to try to get third through 3 and 4.
And then it's Mr. I'll hang around till we get to the end of this race. 00 Joe Adams is just, we've got a motor just let go, and that's very seldom seen in this. The 42 of Jaden Chapman looks like blew up at least a cylinder coming down the front straight and is headed back to the pits. Joe Adams sitting in 6th spot right now, but that's really only 3 laps worth of work for Joe Adams when he gets that car up and going.
Joe Adams, a longtime veteran here at Sauble Speedway. He's hit the road with his super stock over the years as well, and he's found a home here with his legend car.
Oh, he absolutely raves about having this car. 2 cars that come from Sauble Speedway on a regular basis, that being one of them, and the 72 of Jason Legg, one of the biggest proponents of INEX racing that you could possibly find in the province. I think he probably owns 4, maybe 5 of them, and Jason celebrating his 49th birthday today. Well, that's not true. He celebrated it last night. He's recuperating today.
Great drone footage. Your top 5 cars, top 6 now. The Cuthbertsons in a pack of their own up front. You see them in the distance. Adam and Wes showing the way. Then the 90 of Latimer. The 33 of Perk. 00 of Joe Adams. And then Port in the 87. Distance behind them. How about the 60 of Taves, though? Already back up in his 7th spot. He's coming.
Yeah, that car has been good all night. Taves winning both of his qualifiers earlier tonight. So we know he's got a good car. The question is, does the right rear tire they put on that car after ending up with a flat, does it match? And I think we've got that answer. It matches pretty well.
Him and Joe Adams to the inside of Pierik. Picking up spots there now, run 5th and 6th. And Taves isn't done. He's going to go to work on Adams in 3 and 4. As you see the leaders, Adam and Wes Cuthbertson, 79 and the 97, showing the way out front.
And there's still lots of time for Taves to get there. The Cuthbertsons seem to have learned from 3 to 4 weeks ago when they took each other out of a race. They're just going to run together here, push each other long enough till they can make it a 2-car battle. But if they had some way to find out, somebody would be on their radio right now saying, hey, this 60 car is coming, and we pick up another caution. Not sure where it comes from. Just before that caution came out, Taves did get together with someone, and he's got a right front.
Him and the 17 and the 17 and the 60 shaking fists at each other.
Yeah, he's got Taves in the 60's got a flat right front, so he'll head back to the pits and change his second tire of the feature. Oh, there we've got parts on the front stretch.
Interesting to see if we do have a replay of the 17 and the 60 there, racing just before that yellow came out. If you remember, it was the 60 at Taves who bounced off the infield cushion and smoked the 17 earlier. So I wonder if it happened again.
You know, it seems like one of those things, and if you've driven a race car, for whatever reason, every race there's a car you don't get away from and they don't get away from you, and you get enough of each other after like a 10-lap qualifier that you really don't want to be anywhere near them for the rest of the night. The problem with this is it's a 25-lap feature, so if you're close to each other, you're close to each other for a long time tonight.
Well, I think we've seen the speed out of that 60 car of Taves that it wouldn't surprise me to see him come back through the field and end up at about the same spot as the 17 in the last 10 laps.
This is going to be tough. I think it's super tough to catch the Cuthbertsons when they get out front. They don't, they're just playing with each other right now, waiting to get to a couple of laps to go, and then we'll see what's really coming up. But the two of them realize that they probably have better cars than everybody. Well, maybe not better than Taves tonight.
Now the question is, if it wasn't the Cuthbertsons on the front row, would the pole sitter take the inside? If you notice on the last restart, the 79 of Adam Cuthbertson took the outside, got a jump, got in front of West. Don't know if that was the plan of the trailer before we got started tonight or not.
Well, I'll tell you, if you can run the outside at Sauble Speedway, and really, honestly, if you can run the outside at any track, you're going to do really well. The Shaw family is famous for running the outside at Sauble Speedway and winning race after race because of that. It's really a great line because it just doesn't get pounded as hard as the inside does. We get awfully warm weather up here, and the track gets really warm. Cars that stay down low can chew the track up pretty quick.
And you see Adam Cuthbertson will take the inside this time. He'll have the advantage on brother West down through 1 and 2. Latimer, Adams, and Latimer on 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
And Joey Adams has got a good line to go on the outside, but his car just doesn't seem to get up and going. It takes 3 or 4 laps before he can get up and going. Cuthbertsons, they get going at the very beginning, and they start to walk away, and we see them, although Latimer now, that 90 car is coming to life, and he's able to hold on to their bumper, and he'll need to stay there for about another 7 or 8 laps before he's going to be able to make a move yet.
You know what? From all the stuff I've seen with the Legends today, I think the only reason Latimer is staying there is because they're running double wide in front of him. Now Latimer to the inside. The Cuthbertsons, they aren't done, though. Adam having a stellar run. Now Wes has got that challenge to his inside in the form of Jordan Latimer, and Latimer biffed him up the track. Oh, 97 of Wes Cuthbertson is not going to be happy.
Nope, he's already got the door open. I think he had the belt off before he hit the wall. He did make pretty good contact with the wall up in turn 2.
We had some good drone footage of that one. They went in there double wide. He just got shot right up into the wall.
I wonder if maybe the contact broke something, because it looks like he just completely lost the capability to steer that car, and it did wash right up and into the wall. He's
heated.
Looking,
yeah, he is hot under the collar right now. I don't know if he's looking for the guy who did it, or he wants to give Clint a piece of his mind.
I'd stay away if I was Clint.
That's the best time to get him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And us announcers, no, you don't get any better sound bites than when a guy's really mad.
Yeah, and he's usually not mad enough at you to do anything to you, but he's mad enough to at least tell you what he's thinking.
Well,
there he goes.
As you see, holding his hands out, trying to figure out where Latimer's going to take him for dinner after.
Well, Wes, not the way you wanted your night to go. What happened out there?
We were tire racing, and he got loose coming in and just decided not to lift and threw me up into the wall.
There you have it, guys, from Wes Cuthbertson. Not happy at all.
Yeah, pretty much the way we saw it from up here.
Yeah.
Here it looks like we're going to get a replay of it. So Latimer to the inside. And
I wonder if there wasn't two contacts. Here's contact one, and I think there was two. If he had been able to get away after the first contact, I don't know if he would have shoved him up into the wall.
No, I think there was just one, and I think what happened was Cuthbertson gave Lattimore a lane down there, and Lattimore took a lane and a half.
Yes.
And when the car kind of bobbled on him and the back end started to step out, that's when he got into Cuthbertson.
And the damage to the right side, the right front of that car is extensive. We can see the tire just hanging there.
The left side looks good. Looks like we're going to get a drone view of it, and you're going to see it here. You can see Cuthbertson's leaving him lots of room on the bottom, and Latimer down to the curb, but then right here he comes up off the curb, and I shouldn't say Latimer left him a lane and a half, maybe a lane and a quarter.
Yeah.
And he took a lane and 3/8. I'm not good at math, but that would seem to make sense. But and that's what happened, and it just that contact. And again, while these cars have fenders on it,
they're open.
They're open wheel, you know. So
any contact that you make with an open wheel car, there's so many good things about driving an open wheel car, but the bad one is the moment wheels make contact, they get locked together, and somebody's not going to be able to steer.
And it was almost like
hard.
Latimer had it, and then all of a sudden he had to put a little more wheel into it, and that's when it stepped out right in the middle. And that's when it kind of came around and clipped Cuthbertson, and that right front took a terrible lick into the wall.
And we try and describe to people, Sauble Speedway is two very different ends of the track. Now, there are no perfectly symmetrical racetracks in the world, but here at Sauble, Turn 1 and Turn 2 are pretty tight. You get into one pretty tight, and you have to come out of Turn 2 pretty tight. You can't let the car float to the wall. Versus the other end of the track, where it's all about getting speed through the corner and let the car ride up the track a little bit. If you let it ride up coming out of Turn 2, you will hit the wall, and it will hurt.
And that was a solid contact with the outside concrete for Wes Cuthbertson. Tough break for that 97 as he's going off on the business end of the hook. Beautiful evening here at Sauble. Temperature's still bearable. I don't see a whole lot of sweatshirts out there in the grandstand yet. They're coming. They're coming. I remember sweatshirt sales were pretty brisk last night at Delaware.
We here. This is about the time of the year in the Sauble Beach area where it's cold enough now that we don't have to worry about mosquitoes and things either. But I'll tell you, 2-3 weeks ago when we got that warm spell and the humidity, the mosquitoes were the size of the drone. Like, they were coming from everywhere. We didn't make a lot of money on sweaters, but we made a ton on bug spray. Yeah.
As long as the beer's moving, that's the main thing.
That seems to not ever be an issue when you're close to a vacation area. And there you see the car on the hook, and we may get a good view of the right side of the car as it comes by the stands. It's never a good sign when the tow truck is that slow. That means there's a lot of damage. And there you can see it. That tire is just hanging there.
Yeah, there's definitely some damage to the right front suspension on that machine of Cuthbertson, and tough break for him. He had a Probably the top 3 car going here tonight. Jordan Latimer going to restart on the front row. Now you see Zach Latimer. He has crept into contention as well. Parker Taves got a few spots back on that last green flag run, so still with 8 laps to go. Don't count that 60 out because he has been the class of the field all night.
Yeah, that is a strong, strong car. He doesn't have to start at the very back because of some lap cars, so going to get an opportunity to move up the track a little bit. Doesn't have quite as much work to do. And then slowly but surely, you're also getting some other cars. Adams, the 17 car of Zach Latimer. Those cars are all slowly but surely moving up 1 or 2 positions. When they get up far enough, you never know what kind of pressure they're going to be able to put on that car in front of them. And Cuthbertson now is all alone. I mean, he had a teammate to be able to work with. Now it's everyone for themselves. And Cuthbertson is going to notice the pressure pick up quite a bit here with about 8 laps to go in this feature. They're coming hard now.
So we've got Cuthbertson. Again, he will be the control car. I would imagine he would take the inside. Jordan Latimer alongside him. Zach Latimer will roll 3rd. Smoking Joe Adams in 4th. The 33 of Paul Pianic will restart 5th. And watching Parker Taves, who will restart 9th.
So that's going to give Taves, in theory, an inside line on the restart. Let's see how quickly that car comes to life again. 8 laps. Basically, you got to pick 1 car off per lap to get to the front. And I certainly believe that Taves car has the capability to do that.
So yellow flag out. These legend cars launched back in 1992 from the Charlotte Motor Speedway group. I heard you talking earlier on tonight. We weren't on air. I know they had for years been air-cooled motors, but getting tough to find now. So a lot of these cars going to liquid-cooled. Same CCs, though?
1200. They have gone to liquid-cooled. I know the 00 of Joe Adams uses one. I know the 72 of Jason Legg. He's got at least one, maybe a couple. They're doing the conversion as something happens to the air-cooled.
And I know the Ledsons, they did a tour earlier this year, and they were racing. They were racing in Tennessee one day, in Virginia the next, in North Carolina the next. I tried to keep up with it on Facebook, and that's the beauty of these legend cars, is you can go race them anywhere.
That's right.
And those big national meets, you get 500 of them show up. So even if you're not the best legend driver, you're racing against guys in your own class, and that's the beauty of what the Charlottes and the 600 group was able to do with this class.
And it's the legend cars and the Bandoleros run kind of under the same umbrella now. And we've started a Bandolero program here at Sauble Speedway. Just got started this year.
How about Parker Taves getting it done? Look at this, already up into the top 5. We just went green. We're green 1 lap. He's went from 8th to 3rd, and he is driving with the red mist. But again, remember, the 17 still got a credit on the dash from earlier.
And here comes Taves on the inside of the 90 car. It's Jordan Latimer, and he's feeling that pressure now. And he's going to feel it from both sides. It's Taves, and then the other Latimer, the 17Z car, the 17Z car of Latimer also. And now here comes Joe Adams. All of the cars we thought were coming to the front, they're now making that march.
Everybody's going to meet right up at the lead about lap 25, the way this is looking. Zach Latimer didn't want the 60 to get away that easily after that contact early. We'll see what the 60 of Taves can do, already up into 3rd and trying to hunt down the 90 of Jordan Latimer for 2nd out down the front stretch and into 1.
And now it's going to be a 3-car race. That little pile of cars behind them all got together. The 33, I believe, has a tire going down. He's headed off to the pits. I think he's going to make it. We should stay green. And the top 3 are continuing. No, he won't. He comes to a stop just at the exit of turn 2. And that is going to bunch this field up with 5 laps to go. Now it is a shootout.
Well, we were saying he had, 8 laps to pass 8 cars, and the next thing you know, you look up off turn 2 on the restart, and he's already got 3 of them in half a lap.
That car it comes to life fast, right? You can't ask for more from your race car. If it comes to life fast, you've got a chance to capitalize on a couple of cars it's going to take 2 or 3 laps to get going. He did that. He went from 9th to, I think you had him at about 9th to 5th in the span of maybe half the track. That is great car at the right time, and now he's going to be within a car length of the lead on the restart.
And tough break for the 33 of Paul Pianic. He'd been running in the top 5 for most of this feature. I think he was about 6th when that all shook down, but tough break for the 33. Just about able to make it off the track and stay green, but he get pushed out of here. And like I said, tough break for a guy that had been having a pretty good feature tonight.
And he was part of that. It happened about position 5 or 6 back in turn 3, and it was kind of one of those one car stacked up to the one behind it and the one behind it, and they all just got together, and that allowed the top 3 to get away. As soon as I saw the top 3 get away, it's an indicator there's something going on. Look behind him, and the 33 car was involved. I'm sure that's what caused the damage, and I believe it was a right front tire going down on that car.
We'll go back to the last completed lap, so that'll put Taves actually behind Jordan Latimer. And look who Taves has starting directly behind him. The 17 of Zach Lattimore. And again, the 17Z of Zach Lattimore, he still has a credit on the dash from earlier on tonight.
Very much. And Joey Adams would like them not to claim that credit until he could get around and maybe up and into 3rd spot to battle for the lead. Please leave each other alone till I get away.
So we'll see if he gets a helping hand on the restart. And you know how hard you got to push him? Just hard enough to get him out of the groove in turn 1.
That's just enough to move him up that groove and a half you were talking about. And can you get to the bumper? It's one of the toughest things to do in racing, I think, is to get used to the restarts. You need to be right up on the bumper of the car in front of you for many different reasons. 1, if something happens, closer you are, the less damage there's going to be. But 2, that gives you the opportunity to push that car in front of you through the corner without knocking it sideways. Now, I know in this division, when the white flag comes out, you make a choice. You have to make your choice at the start-finish line, so you can go outside or inside. Cuthbertson wants the inside on this restart.
And
I don't know if that's right.
It put the 60 of Parker Taves to the outside. He picked up a spot there. We'll see if the 90 of Lattimore can use that inside groove to his advantage on the restart. Cuthbertson and Taves down into 1 with just a handful of laps left to decide this Inex feature tonight.
Look at Taves, like a bullet off of turn 2. That car comes to life there. And Cuthbertson comes back in the middle of 3 and 4. They are drag racing down the front stretch, and this is going to go side by side to the very end of this race, I think.
Adam Cuthbertson on the bottom. Taves up top. Cuthbertson will clear Taves, but now Taves drives it in deep into turn 3. He'll get to the door on the outside. With that 79, too strong off the corner. 3/4 of a car length, the lead at the line. 22 down, less than 3 to go off turn 2.
Go ahead, make a mistake. The 90 of Latimer is right there to pounce on that, as is the 17 of Latimer, the 00 of Joe Adams. So they're really going to be battling with someone every lap for the rest of this, and it's only a lap and a half to go. Cuthbertson now gets away from the field a little bit.
And Latimer now battling for second. Somebody forgot to tell him that Taves was on his outside, and Taves is quick. Latimer every bit as quick on the bottom. Jordan Latimer buries it down into 1 and 2. The battle on for second. Down the backstretch, it's all Cuthbertson out front. The race is on for the silver medal. It's Traverson on the bottom and Latimer up top. And at the line,
I think Taves has got.
Ooh, we got a spinner here.
That's fortunately it was at the back of the pack, and I think is that Cody Wilds?
I believe either him or the 33. If the 33 came back up, but I don't think he did. It is Cody Wilds out of Exeter in that Wilds printing machine.
And it was Taves for second, Latimer for third, Joey Adams for fourth. Thank goodness for electronic scoring. Races are getting too close to call.
So good run for the Legends here tonight, and Victory Lane celebrations getting set to get underway. Clint Jeffries will look after the festivities down there at Victory Lane.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. We got Adam Cuthbertson down here getting out, and we'll get a quick word with him here as he jumps out. We've seen the other Cuthbertson car not finish the way they wanted to, as you can imagine, trouble there, but we'll get a word with Adam here in just a moment. He gets the helmet off. Adam, great job here tonight. You know, you've been running so good with these cars lately. This is the first time we've talked to you. We've talked to you a few times this year already here on G-Force T. Congratulations on such a great season.
Thank you. We're really starting to click here. We struggled at the beginning, and we are really starting to click now. So we had the fastest car in qualifying today. Little bit of a struggle in the heats, but we made a big swing at it before the feature, and the car was working really good. So what a great night. Got to thank my wife for supporting me and my parents for being a part of this. And we've been up here. This is a big trip for us, so we've been up here with the camper, and what a great way to finish this race.
Right on, Adam Cuthbertson grabs the win. We'll get over and talk to Parker Traves. Parker, great drive here. And again, you know, you've had some great runs with us this summer. Every time we've been out here, it seems like you're up here on the podium. Second today, solid drive.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime we can finish on the podium in front of you guys is good. That race wasn't good. We cut 2 tires and still managed here, so that was a good night.
Right on, Parker Traves will be second. We'll get over and talk to Jordan Latimer. Jordan, you know, you've been a solid top 3 car every time we've been out as well. This car's been running really good for you. You happy with tonight?
Yeah, extremely happy. It's really nice. You can go home and you don't have to fix a whole bunch of stuff. You can kind of work on setup, and been doing that the last couple of weeks, and it's really helped us a lot. So can't thank the guys at home enough, but especially you guys, Trailers Plus, our nightly sponsor, all my sponsors here. Just a really good night.
Right on, how about him for your top 3? Jordan Latimer, Parker Traves, and Adam Cuthbertson. Get it done. We'll be right back live here on G-Force TV. We line up the APC cars in a couple minutes.
Yeah, great run.
On the scene since 1949, Fast Eddie was born with a lead foot and a burning need for speed. His passion for speed and sport has been captured in this authentic collection of vintage-themed gear. Created for gearheads, riders, and racers, Fast Eddie truly encompasses the great Canadian racing culture we have from coast to coast. Drive hard, get dirty, and look good doing it. Fast Eddie Speedwear. Get geared up.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick Quick perfected fire. Quick Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick Quick retailer at quickquick.com.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on G-Force TV.
I've always had the spirit that I wanted to invent something new. And so when we got into clothing, I got immersed into it in the only way that you would really understand how to build clothing is to become a pattern maker. That pattern maker concept started becoming very interesting to me because I went, I can make this better. Love it. Absolutely love designing. Doesn't matter whether it's a garment or an engine or a car, decals on our race cars. I love doing that. That's my forte.
So who exactly is Fast Eddie? More than just a man, it's the mindset that runs through our blood like oil through an engine. Whether on the track or on the street, Fast Eddie is the spirit that drives us to go fast and keep going. Born in 1949 with no time to look in the rearview mirror. Every story is worth telling, and every piece of Fast Eddie apparel has its own. Celebrate our mindset. This is Fast Eddie. This is combustion culture. Fast Eddie Speedwear.
Tonight's APC 100. Car's just getting gridded on the front stretch right now. And you see Blair Wickett's car out there. Looks like he's going to be the pole sitter, the 29 alongside him. Cars again getting gridded on the front stretch. Got some housekeeping to take care of. First of all, look at what's coming up here at Sauble Speedway. Of course, for a quick fire starter. Local track calendar. Just 2 more dates on the calendar. That's next weekend. September 3rd, Can-Am Midgets United 8s and the combined 4s. And Sunday, September 4th, Boss of the Beach, $5,000 to win for the V8s and $500 to win for the United 4s.
And we're going to do finish off the season as we usually do here at Sauble Speedway with a bit of a demolition derby on the front stretch, and that gives us the rest of the year to clean up the car parts before we go racing next year.
And we got some stuff coming up on G-Force as well. September 3rd, Burger Barn's 17th running of the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, plus Action Sprint Tour and Quick Wick NASCAR Penny Series Hot Lap Dash. September 4th is... Well, you know what? Sorry, it looks like we had a little mix-up there on the calendar. I will say this, though. I got the chance to go to Ohsweken Speedway for the Pinty's race a week ago Tuesday, and I told Clint this earlier because Clint does a lot of work down there, and I said, for a guy that gets to as many racetracks as I do, I could not get over the job they've done on the facilities, the new front stretch wall, the new back stretch wall, the building where you go to get your food and the gift shop and the washrooms. It's modern. They've got 4 more stands out there, so if you don't want your hamburger or hot dog, you can go get a taco or a nacho. They've got a bunch of different things. The last time I was there was no pavement around the place, and now all the roads in the pits are paved. I mean, so great job by the folks at Ohsweken. September 3rd, here we go. September 3rd, the Pinty's Night of Thunder from Brighton Speedway. That'll be a doubleheader. Pinty's Nights of Thunders as well on September 4th. Of course, September 17th, the 18th annual Canadian Sprint Car Nationals from Ohsweken, plus Friday Night Excitement from Ohsweken each and every Friday night. And, of course, all kicking off to the Fall Brawl weekend at Delaware Speedway as part of the Great Canadian Weekend, September 23rd, 24th, and 25th. So I will say, like I said, Clint, you guys and Glenn Stiers and all the folks at Ohsweken, you should be very proud of the facility you guys have built down there because it was awesome to see the Pinty's cars there.
Thanks, Jamie. It's been a blessing for us, So many good things came of that event. I think it was a great, one of the words we use a lot is cross-pollination. We had a lot of Pinty's fans and asphalt fans out to check out the dirt, and I think all the dirt fans got a good view of what the Pinty series could do. It was a great situation for all of us. 8,000 people there on Tuesday. That's a great number for us.
Yeah, it was fantastic to watch. The broadcast was unbelievable. The racing was fantastic. For the drivers to be able to turn from asphalt to dirt that quickly and put on that good of a show, that means A, they are the best drivers, but that means B, you've got the best facility, because they were able to predict what that facility was going to be like and put on a show like that. I was so sad I missed that. I hate owning my own business. I should sell, because then I could go and enjoy these things.
They did a great job preparing the dirt. Again, I'm not a big dirt guy, but they did a great job preparing the dirt. And I know Clint and I were talking about about this earlier. You know, the sprint cars were like 5 or 6 seconds faster than the Pinty's cars. And that's all you hear from the sprint car guys is, oh, these cars are slow. They're 5 seconds slower. I got news for you. You try to make one of those sprint cars handle at Mosport on the road course and tell me how you make out, okay? But the NASCAR guys did a great job, and it was an absolutely great show down there. And, definitely good to see. And like I said, the facility, second to none, and all the folks down there should be really proud of the job they've done.
And it's one of the things that I know that Sauble Speedway is it's a resurgence of this speedway now, and it's based on exactly the same idea, and that is create a good facility that people can bring their kids, their parents, their family to, let them have fun, put on a great show, and send them home smiling, and they'll come back. And that's something that I think racing kind of, for a long time in Ontario, we sat on the laurels of, well, we're racing, so everybody wants to come and see this, and that's not true. It ultimately boils down to, this is just another form of entertainment, so you better entertain them.
I just finished reading Humpy Wheeler's book, which is excellent if you do get the chance to read it. And the one thing that he stresses is, when it comes to racetracks, make the women's room as good as possible.
Yeah.
Because if the ladies come and have a good time and the restroom's nice, they bring their men back with them.
Yeah. Sometimes we don't want them to bring the men back with them.
So we do have a rapid fire prepared. Of course, we've had the chance earlier on.
We talked to these drivers, right? And now, just the thing that you just said, Humpy Wheeler, you got to make sure your concession stand's good, right? You got to make sure hot dogs are good. We got a chance to talk to the APC drivers early in the season, and they told us, what do they put on their hot dogs?
Ketchup, mustard, onion.
Ketchup and mustard.
The works. Everything.
Mustard, tomatoes, and onions.
Ketchup.
Just mustard.
Don't eat hot dogs. Ketchup, mustard, relish, just the basic.
It was neat on media days sitting down and watching those guys answer those questions right out of their element. They had no idea what they were getting into. They just, sit in the room. We're just going to ask you some questions, and, what do you like in your pizza? Does pineapple go with it? It was a blast, and, of course, you saw some of the answers as far as the hot dogs right there.
Well, and important to get the crowd to know that the guys and girls that drive race cars are guys and girls that you run into at the grocery store every week, right? They're just regular people who get to do an incredibly cool thing on weekends predominantly, and that's get out and enjoy racing a race car. And it doesn't matter if it's on dirt or if it's on pavement. And I think you make a great point, Clinton. The concessions are such a huge part now. If you go out to the concession right now as we lead up to the start of this APC race, it's lined up like 12, 15 deep. And I'm going to tell you, when you come to Sauble Speedway, it's French fries and gravy. If you don't have French fries and gravy, you have not experienced Sauble Speedway.
I'm not a fry guy, but the burgers here, it rivals the Flamburger. I will.
Does it?
I don't know if that's sacrilegious to say that, but they rivaled the Flamburger. It was dynamite.
That's a bold statement, Jamie. But hey, the food here has been great. I mean, we've been picking out all weekend. Another one thing we want to talk about, we've had a chance to do some driver spotlights. We talked to Josh Stoddy about his attitude and how you keep a good mental attitude here at the races. Let's run our Josh Stoddy driver spotlight.
My family owns a paving business of 62 people, so we're fairly busy all week long. I mean, we live for the racing. I think it's safe to say everyone that races knows that it's in your blood. So when you get to the track that Friday or Saturday night, I'm in my happy place. Good or bad, I'm not working per se. I'm doing my hobby. So I just try to be as positive as I can. I'm a big believer in being positive for even the guys, just the way that you carry yourself for your team. I mean, if you're going to show up being negative, then everyone's going to have a chip on their shoulder. So I just try to be as happy as I can.
Josh Stoddy, big winner here a month ago at Sauble Speedway. Captured his first career win. And just before that, you saw them backing up Jake Sheridan's car. He picked up his first career win last year at Sauble Speedway. It's been a place for first-time winners. Brendan Watson got his first career win here at Sauble. On tour as well, Matt Pritico with his first win here at Sauble as well. As you see the field just getting assembled there on the front stretch.
I was going to mention, so I started announcing at Sauble Speedway probably about 1992 with the voice of Sauble Speedway, who unfortunately is not here this weekend, Jim Irvin. He's working with the horses down around Orangeville today with the RCMP musical ride. But when I started here in 1992, Josh's dad, Dwayne, was driving late model. And we had an incredible group of late model drivers at the time. Mel Preeb, Andy Schmidt, who, if it had Ford on the front of it, Andy drove it. You name it, right? And Dwayne was a big part of the success of late model at that time. And now we also see lots of other families developing. I saw the Zevenbergen family in the crowd tonight. That family, they just had a baby. Well, what do you think that child's going to do 12 years from now? That child will be driving a junior late model.
Right here.
And then a late model, and then we're going to see them in the APC series. It is a family-driven sport, and Dwayne Stoddy is sitting back in the pits right now because he's working on that car with Josh.
Well, that's how I got my background in the sport, was my parents dragging me to the racetrack. And of course, our social media convener for G-Force just happens to be my kid. This is what we do on a Saturday night is, head for a little drive on up to the beach and watch some racing and, do our work, have some fun, and head home.
Yeah, it's such a great opportunity for families to get together, work on the car all week. I think the Junior Late Model program has been a great development for that. Kids learning how to maintain a car, families learning how to maintain a car, kids learning what it is to make a commitment. You went out and you found 10 sponsors, and each one of them gave you $200 or $300 or $500. Well, you have a responsibility to them to make sure you're at the track, make sure you're doing a show, make sure the car is clean, make sure it runs well. It does a lot more than just keep families together. It teaches people what it is to be a good citizen, and that is something that you just can't put a dollar amount on.
When I first met Joe Chisholm Jr., this is at a car show in Toronto going back to the mid-'90s, he showed me his sponsorship proposal that he did when he was 13 years old, and that's how he went racing. So, it's great to get him involved. I had the opportunity to work at Grand Bend for a number of years, 6 years up there. And, the kids that were racing there, the Sean Thompsons who graduated to late model racing, and, Shea Gemmel at the end of, the end of my career there was the start of his career there. So pretty cool to see all the kids grow up.
And the folks that are now running Grand Bend Speedway, they had for a while were also operating at Full Throttle Speedway. And I know that their drive behind what they do is to get more and more kids involved in the sport, because without kids involved in the sport, the future dies. People just leave the sport and you just don't have it anymore. And I know they've got their grandson and granddaughter involved in it from a racing standpoint. Both very, very good drivers. Gord Bennett, a successful driver in his own right. And it's good to see that too. I think now a lot of people who are getting involved in racetracks, and you look right here, so you look at Paul Gressel, who is Andrew Gressel's dad. That family is a part owner of Sauble Speedway. And Jeff Cassidy, who has raced late model forever and raced some super late model this year, another part owner of this facility. Now it's racers and families giving back to the sport. That's huge.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to go racing for tonight's APC 100? Let's try that one more time. Sauble Speedway, are you ready for 100 laps of APC excitement? Get ready to meet your drivers for tonight's 100-lap feature in just a minute as we close in on green flag time for the 100-lapper here this evening. Starting 23rd on the grid, he drives the Tobermory Marine Car Stereo Direct. Number 4X from Owen Sound. Put your hands together for Zach Sprung. Starting 22nd on the outside of row 11. Hails from Hillsburg, Ontario in the BW Towing McMaster GMC Orangeville. Number 8, it's Jordan House. Starting 21st on the grid, he drives the Spire Fire Protection High Grade Roofing, number 86. It's Guelph, Ontario's Billy the Kid Schwarzenberg. On the outside of row 10, from Stainer, Ontario in the B&B Towing, Nisco National Leasing, Zancor Homes 48, Stainer, Ontario's Dwayne Baker. On the inside of row 10 in the Shaw Motorsports, number 72 from Guelph, Ontario, it's Junior Farley. On the outside of row 9 in the Custom Forming Walls, Rod Hall Remax Realty, number 79 from Fraserville, it's James Horner. On the inside of row 9, London Recreational Racing's Mannheim Apex Oil, Caldecott Millwright Services, all sponsors on Plattsville, Ontario's Sean Chenoweth. On the outside of row 8, he drives the SDR Seating, Stage It With Style, Nick's Journey, number 74, from Dundas, Eric Della Riva.
Jamie, we got a report that Eric has an issue with the car. They've taken it back to be inspected by tech, and they're going to check it over and bring him back out.
So we'll wait on Eric's return. But starting 15th, he was a winner here back in 2021. Pride Seeds, Vibrant Farms, Cameron Crane and Riggers, sponsors on the 52 for Mount Bridges. It's Jake the Snake Sheridan.
Jake, a couple solid weeks for you. You grabbed a win at Delaware. Solid drive at Oshweekon on the dirt. Can you get it done here like you did last year?
Yeah, for sure. We've been on a roll last little week here. It hasn't been much of a season for us, but last week's been all right. So we got a solid car here. Didn't show a lot of speed today, but we got a solid piece. So as long as we can keep out of the crap, like we didn't do a very good job that last time here. So let me stay out of the crap with the 15 to go. There, you never know what can happen up front. So we keep her clean. I think we'll hopefully we're in good position for the end.
Jake the Snake Sheridan, car number 52, guys.
Starting 14th on the grid in the Grand Family Auto Car Quest, Greenridge Service, KNK Lawn Care, number 10 from Southampton, Ontario. Top 5 finish here a month ago, Tom Gibbons. And on the inside of row 7, he drives the number 83 machine. NTN Bearings, Wellington Systems, the sponsor for Guelph, Ontario's Dale Shaw.
Dale, you got a special helper here tonight. It's tonight the night you get this NTN car to victory lane.
Man, I sure hope so. We're due. We've been working so hard this year, and man, it would be pretty cool to knock one off the list tonight for sure.
Good luck, Dale Shaw, going car 83 here tonight, guys.
On the outside of row 6, he drives the Global Warranty Courtesy Ford Cadillac Industrial Cleaning Services, number 21 from London, former series champ and 3-time winner at Sauble, Matt Pritico. And on the inside of row 6, driver of the 10S machine, Paragon Office Installation Services, big or small, they move it all, Gord the Smoke Shepherd. And that brings us to our top 10 on the outside of row 5. SSG Gloves, Airedale Carriers, Holdaway Motorsports, the sponsors for Hamilton, Ontario's Connor James. That brings us to our 9th starter, your point leader, Cambridge Rigging, Transaxle Heavy Duty Truck and Trailer Parts, H2O Mobile Wash, some of the sponsors for Cambridge, Ontario's number 84, J.R. Fitzpatrick. On the outside of row 4, he drives the APC Canusa Quickwick AW Millwright, sponsor number 22. Second in points coming into tonight. Put those hands together for Kyle Steckley. Seventh on the grid with a tremendous qualifying effort like a bolt of lightning. It's the driver of the Ridgeline Lubricants, Canada Flat Metal Roof Systems, number 17 from Chesley, Ontario, primetime Josh Studdy. On the outside of row 3, he drives the 31W CM Precision Machining, Sturrock Energy Systems, Green Steel Roof.ca, number 31W from Hawkstone, Rick Spencer Walt.
Rick, how's the leg? That's the big question. I see you can barely put any weight on it here. How the heck are you going to push that accelerator 2 weeks ago at Sunset?
I think once you get in, the adrenaline starts pumping. Last race was just terrible. Sorry to everyone I didn't get an interview in, but I couldn't hardly stand. They had to drag me out of the car and stuff. So this week we'll just take it easy for a few laps, see how we fit in here, try and get to the bottom, and just bide our time, and hopefully this thing holds together.
Yeah, you're going to take it easy. That's cute, Rick. Good luck. Rick Spencer Walt, ladies and gentlemen, going out with a really sore leg here tonight.
Starting 5th here tonight, he's sponsored by Canadian Union of Skilled Workers and Sauble Falls Tent and Trailer Park. From Sauble Beach, Ontario, it's the Road Warrior, the 81, Andrew Gressel.
Andrew, home race for you. You know this place probably better than anybody in the field. What's your secret to success going to be tonight?
Yeah, I don't know. We're just we're hoping to have a good run here. We were struggling a bit through practice. We had a lot of work to do on the car between yesterday and this morning. So looking forward to the race, though, and it's good to see all the fans out.
Right on. Andrew Gressel, ladies and gentlemen.
Brings us to our front 2 rows, starting 4th on the grid. Outside of row 2, APC Auto Parts Center, Canusa Automotive Warehousing, Miami Muscles, the sponsors for Dorchester's Shea Gebel. Brings us to the inside of row 2, making his first start on tour. He's the 2020 APC champ, filling in for Danny Benedict, driving the Mobile One B&W Enterprises Epic Racewear 54. From London, it's Joe Lawrence. And now on to the front row. Outside of row 1, from Norwood, Ontario, he drives the SMG Motorsports, GTA Racing Design, Flathead J-Bex Construction, sponsored number 29. It's Flying Ryan Kimball. And on the point for tonight's 100-lap feature, your pole sitter, sponsored by JP Power Coating, Vincent Lawn Equipment, Rymat Storage, and Shaw Motorsports. From Cambridge, Ontario, the 97, the Polar Blair Wickett.
Blair, we know you bought a lot of parts for this car the past few races. You haven't had any kind of luck. Did you able to pick up any luck at the parts store this week?
I don't know. The amount of people that have offered me a horseshoe if they find one, I guess they stuffed one in my car somewhere, so it's still together.
Hey, luck is just imaginary. What is not imaginary? How fast this car's been the last few times out, even though you haven't been able to finish these events. Can you get it done tonight, Blair, from the front row?
I hope so. Me and my dad, we've been researching and just trying to find speed, and luckily we had it. We just got to keep it all in one piece.
Right on. There you have it. Blair Wickett, your pulser. How about a hand, ladies and gentlemen, for all these APC late model drivers getting ready to go. We'll turn it up to Jamie to get us going before we roll off for 100 ones here tonight.
Well, the driver's just getting buckled in, and I guess it's that time, Dave. We have to get the race fans to rise, and please remove your cap for the playing of tonight's national anthem. APC late model action getting set to get going. These guys will blast off like a bolt of thunder here in just a couple minutes as they light the wicks and get these 23 late models fired up. Hopefully they get those issues fixed on the 74 of Eric Della Riva. Again, we've seen a lot of first-time winners, guys who have recorded their first win on tour here at Sauble Speedway. The list is long. Brandon Watson got his first win at Sauble way back in 2017, 2018. Pull that one out.
Jamie, we have one segment we do every race. It's our Fast Eddie ones to watch. We've got 4 of them to watch here tonight. You know, we've got Joe Lawrence obviously coming back to go at it. You got J.R. Fitzpatrick trying to win it. You got Kyle Steckley trying to grab a win here tonight. And hometown Josh Dottie. Those are our 4 Fast Eddie drivers to watch here tonight as we get ready to go racing.
Well, it's a pretty good list, that's for sure.
Well, I'll tell you, that was certainly going to be one of the picks on my list. J.R. Fitzpatrick started racing here at Sauble Speedway many moons ago in a junior late model, and we saw him climb all the way up through the ranks, run a NASCAR truck. I mean, had a lot of success at Daytona, and he certainly knows his way around this track, as did his dad, who drove a late model here for a long time. And we talked about Josh Stottie. He breaks through with a win the last time they were here. He was super fast in qualifying tonight. I know the last time that the APC series was here, Josh wins, and the stands was full of green shirts from the folks at Ridgeline who are supporting him to no end. I would not count that car out. Or does Steckley pull it through tonight? We've seen him be a solid car here at Sauble Speedway in many different divisions. Scott Steckley used to race a late model here at Sauble Speedway as well, and I know this is not a new spot to that family.
Yeah, definitely the Steckley's not too far away in the Milverton area. That's where they hail from, and again, we've seen Kyle just be impressive here as he tries to chase down J.R. Fitzpatrick, the wily veteran. And who would have thought J.R. Fitzpatrick now 35 years old?
Wow.
That's what I said when I found out.
And we got to send out a happy birthday wish. I know we got a special request down from the grid. Tom Gibbons' son celebrating his 13th birthday today. Drives a junior late model regularly. Will be in action here at the Speedway next weekend, so we want to pass along a happy birthday to his son.
Hey, I'm going to throw it down to Clint Jeffries. Are you folks ready to get going here tonight? We're going to throw it down to Clint. He's got some guests down there to give us a hand getting things kicked off.
Boy, that was way too weak. Are you guys ready to go race and make some noise? That's better. We got some APC friends and family guests here. They're going to give it to us. 3, 2, 1.
Drivers, start your engines!
Awesome job.
We got a family from up here, Owen Soundway. Big fans of APC racing and big regulars here at Sauble. Happy birthday to Mark McCullough.
Oh, Mark today. There, the McCulloughs sit right here to our left. There you go. So that's the birthday.
Did I do the shout out okay? I think they're happy. Yeah. Always great to. You know what? Just years ago, they tracked me down to the racetrack. I was walking by, I had no idea who the McCullough families was. And they introduced themselves to me, and then we've been chatting on Facebook ever since. And I love meeting race fans when I come to stuff like this.
And you only have to meet the McCullough family one time, and you know them all forever. They'll buy you food, actually, if you get them near the souvenir and concession stand.
Now we're talking.
Because
you know the quickest way to an announcer's heart is through his stomach.
Lots of folks up here. I'll tell you, Sauble Speedway has been a staple of what goes on in this area for many summers, and I run into the same fans. I also am part of the Owen Sound Attack group, and on regular basis become involved in those home games. On display here tonight, there's a car on display that's promoting the 2023 Ontario Men's Tankard and Women's Scotties Tournament of Hearts. That's going to be happening in Port Elgin in January. This area is full of stuff to do. Just move here and you'll never want to go anyplace else because it all comes here.
So way back when I was a kid, 1984 was the first time I got to come to Sauble Speedway. We were up here on family vacation. there was no walls at either end.
No, that's right.
Like if you went off the turn, you were out in the rhubarb, and here you come back in, and geez, it was a super late special that night. I believe it was 1984, and it was 84 laps, and you know, the Wayne Keelings, the Zardos, the Hanleys, the Biedermans, Chuck Lawler was here, like all the top guns. It was just, I probably didn't come back to the Speedway for 15 years after that because I lived so far away, but I remember coming back in 1984 with no walls, and the place has come a long ways.
Jim Irvin, the guy who's the regular voice, I'm normally Clinton here at Sauble Speedway. Jim, who is the voice of the Speedway, can give you history lesson after history lesson about people who raced here and the history of the track and how it started as dirt and there were no walls, and we called it the Alligator Pond out over turn 1 and 2. The Alligator Pond is now a golf course. We are completely surrounded by a grass, so turf. They grow turf all around the racetrack. But one thing has been a constant in this area, and that is Sauble Speedway. And if you don't come here at least once a year when you're visiting, then you haven't really experienced Grey Bruce.
There's nothing better than going to the beach during the day and the racetrack at night. And you see Joe Lawrence now up and rolling in that 54. He's got a good start spot and great. Wish Danny Benedict well. Hope he's having a good time at his wedding tonight. And picked a pretty good guy to sub into the 54 machine, your former 2020 champ.
Well, how about you subbing in and then starting on the front row? Thank you very much. I think I'll have myself a pretty good night. What a great present to give to someone. Give him a phone call while he's still celebrating his wedding and say, hey, we had a top 5 tonight. I think he'd appreciate that. Well,
we saw Danny Benedict. He's been quick all year. The problems have been when he qualifies outside the top 10. He's had to use a lot of car up. Give him a wave this time by, folks. The drivers will wave back something white, something bright. Seat cushion your neighbor if they're light enough. Hat, one of those APC programs. Give them a wave. These drivers will wave back before we set them loose for 100 laps of action here at the beach.
Just imagine what it's like to hold on to the steering wheel of a race car that's going to have way more than 400 horsepower, and you're going to hit the gas pedal, and then you're hanging on. For the first couple of laps, you got to get heat into the right sides. It's not going to stick that well going into the first corner, so you're going to tiptoe a little bit. If you ever wanted to experience what it's like to get into the space shuttle and go for a ride, that's what this is like. It is. I had one chance to drive a late model, not even a super late model. It's way beyond what you ever thought this is.
So Chris Lawrence, who we saw in the 4-cylinder class here earlier on tonight, they've fielded somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 bone stocks every Friday night at Delaware. They bring a whole fleet. Well, they got a 2-seater. So if you want to ride, they'll take you out for a ride on a Monday night during practice night. And he says they've had some people who've taken them up on the underwear or the offer of free underwear to go with the ride. Well, it looks like we're getting set to go. APC 100 laps at the beach, event number 8 of 9 of the year. Watch the 84, the 22, and the 17. Fitzpatrick, Steckley, and Stoddy, your top 3 in points. They're going to try to decide the title tonight. It's going to be Wicked who blasts off first into 1. He's got the 29 of Kimball alongside of him. They come out of turn 2 all clean and green. It's Kimball up top, and how about Flying Ryan Kimball? He's going to get it done on the outside. Gamble will roll to the outside of Wicked. That's the race for second down into 1. Kimball able to get a quarter of a car length out front, and he's going to bring Gamble with him. We'll see if Wicked just falls into line behind them. Nowhere to go right now, as he's also got the 31W of Rick Spencer-Walt working to the outside. It is a high-speed traffic jam through 1 and 2. Kimball, Gemmel, Wicked out front. Walt runs 4th. Steckley, good start for the 22. All the way from 8th up into 5th. Here in the early going. J.R. Fitzpatrick, your point leader. He's caught on the high side of Gressel. A little deeper in the pack. You see them 2x2 there. Check that. That's Connor James on the outside of Gressel. It's Fitzpatrick just watching that battle. He's tucked in the line now behind Pertico and behind Staddy. Staddy goes door to door with Connor James. You see Pertico giving James the business out of turn 4. Now Staddy will squeeze up in front of Connor James. And here comes that 84, the wily veteran. J.R. Fitzpatrick to the inside of the 4 of Connor James down into 3 and 4. Fitzpatrick will close that deal. James tried to close the door on Pritico. 21 still had his nose in there. Got the 4 just a little sideways. Now the 4's up and running again. James is pointed in the right direction. Pritico let him off the hook, and Chenoweth right behind that battle. Meanwhile, out front, Shea Gemmel stalking your leader. Flying Ryan Kimball in that J-Bex construction machine. Got the APC entry of Shea Gemmel all over him. Blair Wickett rolls third, with Rick Spencer-Walt fourth, Steckley in fifth, but you see that battle up front. Flying Ryan Kimball has got to be, if not the leader, at least second in laps led here in 2022. He's had a lot of time out front, whether it be the first event at Sauble, Sunset number 2, the Peterborough event. That 29 has led a lot of laps, has yet to close the deal in the SMG Motorsports entry. And he's got Shea Gemmel breathing down his neck. Again, Gemmel, 2019 here at Sauble, his maiden voyage to victory lane. And Gemmel giving that 29 all he can handle. Everybody seem to be playing pretty well up front. They've all got single file now.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. It looks like everybody has jumped in the sandbox and they're all sharing the pails right now. That's not going to last forever. Somebody is eventually going to have to stick a nose in and keep it there. But we're still early in this one. 13 laps in, a long way to go. You got to keep the fenders on the car for a while yet.
Well, I know it might be a curse, but I'll say it anyways. I will remind you that the only time we have had a race in the APC series go green to checker with no yellows, it was here at Sauble Speedway. So entirely possible. It was a 25-minute affair, 100 laps at 15 seconds a lap. Didn't take very long to click them off. That's what Ryan Kimball's going through right now. We're only 4 laps into this race. He's going to be putting number 16 up on the board this time by. Shea Gemmel breathing down his neck in the 3 car. The 97 of Wickett still a factor. Good run here. And Clint, I know Blair Wickett's really struggled this year keeping the drive line in that car, but looking good here early going in the 97. There you see a couple of Sauble Beach veterans, 81 of Gressel, and that Ridgeline entry. Again, if you missed the story earlier tonight, Stoddy's got 2 cars. One of them is a Ridgeline Lubricants car, that green one. He also has another one that's wrapped in yellow. Canadian Flat Roof Systems, the sponsor on that car. This was supposed to be the event in the yellow car with the other sponsor on it, but after taking that green machine to victory lane back a month ago, they decided to bring it back out. They struggled in practice, but still able to be our epic pole winner here tonight. Fast qualifier, Josh Stoddy. Again, that feature win about a month ago, first of his career here at Sauble Speedway. And he's chasing Andrew Gressel, 2017 Series champ.
Probably within the next 10 laps, we're going to get into some lap traffic here. And then that's really going to be the telltale sign of how nice people want to play. Are you going to be able to trap somebody in behind that lap traffic? That's an excellent opportunity to maybe make up some space when your car maybe isn't quite as good as the car that's in front of you. And the leaders are going to find that here probably 10 laps from now, and then we're going to start to see who's anxious to make some moves. Although, to be honest, we're in single file pretty much through this entire field, and that means a lot of green flag racing.
Chenoweth just picked up a spot from Gibbons, put him up to P12. Well, that was going on. Stoddy able to get by the road warrior. Now we got a battle for the lead down the backstretch. Shea Gemmel, he got your leader up off the inside groove, and he's going to go by Kimball. Kimball tries to close the door on Wickett. Little contact there. And I would suspect now that you see the 3 out front, he is going to set sail. One of our 3 fastest cars in practice all sessions today. Basically, the 3-4 fastest cars today Fitzpatrick, Gemmel, Stoddy, and Kimball throughout the practice sessions. And Gemmel, he really had that car cutting through the middle of 3 and 4. And you saw that, able to take advantage of that car being able to point it to the bottom, hit the loud pedal, and get that power applied. And after he got by Kimball, he's taken off now. Great three-way battle between the 89, the 83, and the 10S.
Yeah, Chenoweth got a great opportunity to get a nose in underneath. About a lap ago, you can start to see now a few drivers are getting a little bit anxious. They know they got a better car than where they're sitting. I want to make up a couple of spots early so that I can, just in case this goes for a long green flag run and I don't have time to move up anymore. But Chenoweth had that spot, and now it looks like the 10 cars really battling back on the outside, super strong.
30 laps in, so now you're going to see some of these cars come and some of these cars go. As we close in on the 1/3 point, you're going to see setup characteristics change. Who's been saving their tires here in the early portion? So Welsh Gemmels, that looks like he's out on a Saturday night cruise in that 3 car. Every time he gets on the brakes in the corner, not so much on the left side, but you can see the right side. When you see the outside of that car in the corner, you'll see just how cherry red those rotors are. He is really working that right front. Again, you can see on that long shot into turn 3, not much on the left side, but that right side really red.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if the spotter picks up on that. They're often going to let you know that that's happening, and you're going to have to turn down the wick a little bit. A little less right front brake would be good on that car, or you're going to run out of it before the end of this race.
Well, speaking of turning up the wick, that's exactly what Blair Wickett did. He just went to the whip, found his way to the inside of the 29 machine of Flying Ryan Kimball, squeezed 3 wide through a lap car, and now Blair Wickett having a great run here up into second tonight. He's got Kimball going 3rd, Spencer Walt 4th, and so far J.R. Fitzpatrick awfully quiet here, Dave.
Well, I think you see the experience coming out in, like JR, for example, and just ahead of him, the 17 of Josh Stoddy. They're realizing, hey, we're not even to the halfway point yet. We're just over a 3rd. I got a good car. I don't want to use it up yet because I am going to have to use it up later on, especially if the leader starts pulling away. And right now, Gemmel is doing just that, pulling out by maybe 10 or more car lengths. You really got to hope he gets trapped in that lap traffic right now, or it's going to be tough to catch.
Well, the nice thing is if he does get caught up in some lap traffic, he's got a little bit of a buffer now. The whole straightaway back to Blair Wickett. How about that run for the 97? Blair Wickett, the Cambridge driver, again, a lot of driveline problems here this year. He's went off on the business end of the hook more than one occasion, but with that 97 rolling, as you see your 3, the leader, Shea Gemmel, working by Billy the Kid Schwarzenberg down the backstretch. Going to be 60 to go this time by, 40 in the books for your leader, Shea Gemmel.
And how about Rick Spencer Walt? He, in essence, is driving on one leg right now, and it's not the right leg. And he's holding his position very, very well. How long can he do that for? As now we start to see a little anxious moment happening from the 17 of Josh Stoddy.
Well, the 31 W of Rick Spencer Walt, he'll mosey on by the 29 of Ryan Kimball. Now, Kimball tried to close the door on the 22. Again, Kyle Steckley's got a championship to think about. Came into the night just 12 points behind J.R. Fitzpatrick, trying to close some distance here. He's got a few points he can pick up if they finish where they run right round.
And the danger right now is that he's going to get freight trained as the 54 of Lawrence comes in on the low side, and they're starting to line up underneath that 29 car. That doesn't bode well for him right now, as everybody is going to pick on the inside door. Josh Stoddy is next to come through. J.R. Fitzpatrick, he's going to fill that bottom hole if it opens up.
Don't get me wrong, I like Flying Ryan Kimball and all, but we've seen this movie before. That car is good out of the box. It's good out of the trailer. He's been able to qualify well and start up front, but as you can see right now, slowly just fading through the field. They just have no long run speed in that 29 machine.
and you've got a lot of very experienced drivers starting to knock on the door. J.R. Fitzpatrick next to move up on the inside, and then it's going to be the 81 of Andrew Gressel. They're really just picking on him right now, but that car washed up going down out of turn 2, and the minute it washed up, they were so bunched together that there wasn't really much he was going to be able to do about it. He just basically had to pull over, and you know they're going to pounce on that.
You know what, I'm not going to lie. If you had told me tonight that Blair Wick would be sitting here halfway through this race, running second, he hasn't shown that much speed all year. He's been decent. He is showing a whole world of it tonight. Great run. You saw a couple good shots in the 97 from the drone. There he is, Blair Wick, the Polar Blair out of Cambridge again. If it wasn't for bad luck this year, he'd have none at all, but he's got that thing rolling in the right direction now.
Hey, if you completely run out of luck, you can only, if you've had nothing but bad luck, it's all good luck coming your way. And so far tonight, that 97 car has been on rails. If anybody's going to try to fight to the back bumper of your leader right now, that's the car that's going to have to do it.
He's 15th in points, so really going to be able to take advantage of that tonight if he can close this deal out and put together a performance worthy of the drive he has had so far. That's Blair Wickett. Now you look back to your 6th place car, Josh Stoddy. There's Wickett in the 97. Drone drafting him down the back stretch. And Josh Stoddy in that Ridgeline machine. There's the Polar Blair. Working through 1 and 2, and he hasn't really lost sight of your leader. No. Shea Gamble's right there.
I like the position of the top 3 cars right now. They are really kind of pulling away a little bit from the rest of the field and trying to stretch this into really a 3-car fight. We've just gone by the halfway mark. A lot of the drivers are now getting notification from their spotters. Hey, what have you got left? Maybe we need to put a little more brake bias somewhere so you can get a little deeper into the corner, because you can't lose any more spots.
Or hey, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but we haven't had any yellows yet.
Yeah,
like the leader's coming, man. You got to go.
That's true. And now we're starting to see some of those lap cars get involved, as your leader now is going to put the 48 car. Is it down a lap? Yep, it's about to go down a lap. So move it up through the field pretty well. So far, lap cars doing a good job getting down to the inside and opening up the outside lane. Although this time he's going to go to the low side to make that pass and put that car down a lap. That was a bit advantageous. Now he has a car between him and the 2nd place car. You buy yourself a little bit of room. But you noticed that right front rotor. It's even worse now. At some point, they're going to have to turn down that brake bias.
And I know Shea did have some brake problems earlier on this year. So we'll see if it holds together. Run the field down for you. We close in on lap 60. Going to be 40 to go here in a couple minutes. Shea Gamble, your leader. Blair Wickett, 2nd. Rick Spencer-Walt, 3rd. Kyle Steckley, 4th. Jordan Lawrence runs 5th. Josh Stoddy, 6th. J.R. Fitzpatrick, 7th. Gressel in 8th. The 4 of Connor James, 9th. Flying Ryan Kimball, 10th. Matt Pritigo, 11th. Tom Gibbons in 12th. Dale Shaw, 13th. Gord Shepard, 14th. Sean Chenoweth, 15th. Jake Sheridan in 16th. And that is the last car in the lead lap. 1 lap down, Dwayne Baker in 17th. Billy Schwarzenberg, 18th. James Horner, 19th. Jordan House is 2 laps down in 20th. And Zach Sprung and Junior Farley both off the track right now. So that's your full field rundown here. Second half of this one, Joe Lawrence going at the 22 of Kyle Steckley. And very important that Steckley gets all the positions he can in front of JR right now.
That's for sure. And here comes the leader up on, I think, around 14th, 15th, 16th position. That's really interesting. Halfway down and almost half the field down a lap. That's how quick the pace is right now. I don't know if he can keep this pace up, but if he can, boy, he might be sailing to the victory in this one.
Shepard, Chenoweth, and Sheridan in that heated battle for 14th right now, and your leader about half a straightaway behind them. So while they continue to race, the 3 continues to close in on him. Check that. That was Jordan House in the mix. He is a couple laps down as Chenoweth and the 52 of Sheridan mosey on by. Now Sheridan to the outside of Chenoweth as the leaders coming to get back to that battle for 4 spots. Steckley has it. Joe Lawrence is right there. And Stoddy and Fitzpatrick have caught this battle now.
Yeah, and that's a good deal. You kind of find when you catch the bumper of that car in front of you, you then get a little bit of a push. So now the 3 of them might be able to push each other and pick up some pace to try and get back into this battle, because the leader has really pulled away from everybody.
66 down, 34 to go. You see Kyle Steckley leading Joe Lawrence right now for position. That is for 4th in the running order. Steckley came into tonight 12 points behind J.R. Fitzpatrick. And if it were to end right now, he would take that 12 points. Oh, Steckley on the back of the stretch wall. He got into it, though. There's Joe Lawrence to the bottom, and the floodgates could be open. The youngster's in trouble down into 1. He's got Joe Lawrence to his inside. He's got Stoddy and the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick lined up, but Steckley will be able to get in line in front of Stoddy.
Well, Steckley did a good job, or the spotter did a good job. Somebody did a good job getting him cleared and back down in line, because Stoddy was an inch away from pouncing on that, and it would not have been long before J.R. Fitzpatrick made that hole a little bit wider.
And how about this, a battle for the lead off turn 2. Blair Wickett to the inside of Gemmel. Gemmel to the outside of Chenoweth, trying to put that 89C a lap down. Wickett side by side with Gemmel. Oh, contact, Gemmel into the fence. There was contact between the 97 and the 3.
Wow.
And Shea Gemmel is going to be none too happy, I would think.
You just don't know how many opportunities you're going to have to make the pass, especially for the lead. And I guess he thought that was my chance. I got to put the nose and keep it in there. And the result of that is not a good one.
Gemmel hit the wall, but I don't know how hard he hit it. I'm not sure just how much damage there is. I don't know, Clint, what you can see down there. I know most of the damage, I believe, is on this side, so wait till he gets turned around. And you should be able to get a good look at it. So the 3 of Gemmel.
I kind of thought something else was about to happen.
Well, if it would have happened, I think it would have happened last lap. That's what I was waiting for. I don't think he's got a spot to turn around right now is the problem.
Well, and he's headed to the right spot because he's going to the back.
Now he's got bigger problems.
Uh-oh.
There's some smoke coming out of the front right of that car. Again, that's the area where we were noticing. I believe he might have some flames on that right front.
And here's the replay as it's time to go, but is it time to go yet? Now, he was blocked too by the 89 of Chenoweth, so he needed to make some room to be able to make that pass.
Well, you saw the contact there as they went down into the corner.
Now, Jamie, I don't see any damage here to this car. A bit of cosmetics, but it appears to be all right. All 4 corners are up. We'll see what happens.
If you notice, Dave, the right front of that 3 car was smoking before that even happened. So I think, I mean, Shea Gemmel got bumped into the wall, but I think he was in a lot of trouble before that happened.
Well, at that point, you're not actually braking. You're trying to maybe even let the gear in the car slow you down because you're just not feeling. You're feeling the brake pedal go deeper and deeper and deeper, and eventually it goes to the floor and you don't have anything to do. So it's unfortunate, but boy, there's going to be a couple of cars that are certainly going to try and take advantage of this pretty quickly. There's a lot of cars that were getting back by close to half a lap, especially being Steckley and Stoddy and J.R. Fitzpatrick. They were starting to lose some ground on the leaders. Now they can let tires cool down, let motors cool down, and who knows what kind of a run somebody's going to make coming off of this.
And maybe the biggest benefactor of all that, you see Dwayne Baker now getting the lucky dog, but the 89 of Chenoweth had both those leaders right on his trail. He was about to go a lap down in the 89C. When they came off turn 4, I thought you were going to see Chenoweth dive to the inside, let the leaders go, but he tried to stay in the lead lap, raced him down into 1, and now he's still on the lead lap. So Sean Chenoweth can still make a decent night out of tonight for a guy that was just a lap or two away from going down.
And now we get into that kind of 30-lap area where, wow, that is not good. Yeah, there's flame coming. I think there's flame. Yeah, it's all coming out of the right front, and we saw that heating up 30 laps ago, so it didn't get any better. And you saw
it affect him. I mean, he had a whole straightaway lead, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, it just started shrinking and shrinking as he kept trying to back the corners up. And like I said, when he got it whipped around on the front stretch, I believe there was actually a fire on that right front.
It's going to be difficult for that car to get back out. If he's starting to boil that fluid now, there's not going to be a whole lot they're going to be able to do about that. But we're going back for the restart right now. So whose car comes to life off the restart? That's really going to be the test.
Well, we saw that 54 of Joe Lawrence find his way to the front. We know Steckley's in the championship battle. Desperate times call for desperate measures. It's going to be Rick Spencer-Walt beat Wickett to the line. Wickett was the leader. And how about Rick Spencer-Walt getting it done high, wide, and handsome into 3 and 4 in that CM Precision machine. Out of turn 4 to the stripe, we've got a new leader, and it's Rick Spencer-Walt. Spencer-Walt, Wickett. Now here comes Steckley to the outside. It's got J.R. Fitzpatrick in tow there, lined up outside of Joe Lawrence. Great. Oh, contact. Stoddy got into the back of Fitzpatrick just a bit when Fitzpatrick was trying to get a line. Now Steckley's got his hands full with that B&W Mobile 1 machine. Oh, we got 2 around. Flying Ryan Kimball in the 29, the 81 of Andrew Gressel, both around in turn 4.
If we get a replay of that, I think that was just that accordion effect happening as they went into turn 3. It was bumper to bumper to bumper to bumper, and somebody at some point is not going to be straight going through that corner, and we're going to end up with just what we got, a caution flag. And that's unfortunate. Gressel having a good night.
Yeah, he's going to have some work to do here in the late going with 27 to go, coming from the back.
You know, it's amazing how when your car comes to life and you drive it to the front of the pack, your leg doesn't feel quite as bad as it did 25 laps ago when you were working so hard. Now you get to the front as we see the replay, and it was exactly that. Cars just stacking up in the corner, and that's what happens on restarts. Everybody trying to get to that single file if you can to make a bit of a run, but unfortunately, you just haven't got away from each other enough at that point.
And I think Rick Spencer got away with one on that restart. I know I had a chance to listen to the drivers' meeting today, and they were very, very straightforward about if you're the leader, you get to fire first. And if you're the second place car and you beat that leader to the line, you better give it back. That didn't happen there. They fired off turn 4. Spencer-Walt beat Wickett to the line, kept on going. He's now your leader.
Yeah, you know what I'm doing as a driver? If I get the chance to get to the front, I'm going to let you throw a caution and put me back. But if you leave me, I'm going. I get one chance to make that move. You may never have that opportunity again. And as we saw, the previous leader got the lead because he made a quick move. Spencer-Walt maybe just gave it back to him.
So Steckley up into 3rd on this restart. Jordan Lawrence will go 4th. 5th, J.R. Fitzpatrick. 6th, Josh Stoddy. 7th, good run for the SSG Gloves machine. Connor James up into 7th. Tom Gibbons, a great run at his home track in that 10 machine. He sits 8th, had a 5th place finish here a month ago. 9th is the Smoke, Gord Shepard in the 10S. Rounding out the top 10 is Matt Pritico. 11th is Jake Sheridan. 12th, the 83 of Dale Shaw. 13th, the 89C of Chenoweth. 14th is the 48 of Baker. 15th, the 81 of Gressel. And 16th, the 29 of Flying Ryan Kimball. And I believe those are all your lead lap cars. This is from a viewer's perspective, Dave, this is probably their favorite part of the show.
Yeah.
Because we're going to do the quick fire it up. You know what that means. We just get to shut up and let the pitchers do all the talking. Starter Sean Gibbs, 1 to go sign in the air. Spencer-Walt taking the outside. And after the success last restart, probably not a bad idea. So Spencer-Walt, Blair Wickett, getting set to bring you back to this restart in a quick fire it up. Well, I like the sights and sounds of pro late model racing, and I like the sights and sounds of the APC cars. Absolutely rolling here at Sauble Beach. Less than 25 laps to go. Late stages of this one. Joe Lawrence, how about that? Getting it done on the outside on that restart. The biggest one you got to move is Kyle Steckley. He's got to get away from that 84 and pick up some spots.
Well, you notice how earlier in the race it was all about give and take. Everybody was, forget it. That's out the window.
Take and take now.
Yeah, now it's you're not given an inch, and if you want an inch, you're going to need to take 2 because that person's coming back to take an inch back.
Good job by Tom Gibbons. Again, having a great run here up into the top 10. Him and Connor James tail end of the top 10. Out front, Rich Spencer-Walt is styled. Oh, Stoddy just closed the door on the 22, and the 22 just moved him. Well, they cautioned out. They kept going.
I kind of thought they might even let that one go. Stoddy got the car sideways, but seemed to straighten it out pretty quickly. But fair.
That one stems back from a month ago. So Stoddy tried to close the door on Steckley. If you recall, a month ago when we were here, J.R. Fitzpatrick and Kimball got into it. Stoddy took the lead over. Steckley was not too happy with the way Stoddy raced him at the end of the race. Everybody was happy. Josh Stoddy got his first win. That was good and all. Kyle Steckley was not happy. That time, Stoddy closed the door on Steckley, was not quite clear, and I think Kyle just let him know down in turn 1.
Yeah, definitely Stoddy was moving down. There was a hole almost opened. He was hoping that maybe it was give an inch, but as we said, there's no give an inch at this point in the race.
Guys, my question is this 22 car, what kind of damage does it have? From the infield, tough to see some body damage hanging off the right side. Is that something that's going to cause him to have to go to the pits?
I don't think it was that bad. I think Stoddy's thinks he wants to get his spot back.
But look at the big piece of metal there hanging out the right side of the 22.
Yeah, I'm trying to have a look at it. It might just be fiberglass, Clint.
Yeah, it looks like it's part of the right front fender that might have got peeled back a little bit.
Stoddy up there to show his displeasure.
Well, I think Stoddy wants his spot back, but you're the accident car. You will go to the back. You might not like it.
I don't know that's... Yeah.
Well, did he blend in?
That's tough to tell. I think there is maybe a piece of steel dragging right down in front of the right front tire on the Steckley car. If that's the case, they're going to make him go to the pits. That peels off, blows the right front tire, and we got a bigger problem.
Well, from where I'm seeing, I'm looking at it, almost looks like half a hula hoop hanging off the right front. And we'll see what it looks like.
Now it looks like
I think it's one of the braces for the hood. And they are putting Josh Stoddy to the back.
But they're also just pointed at the 22, so we'll see what happens. Stoddy will head to the pits, guys. Steckley may, or looks like he's just going to roll it to the back. So penalty for Steckley on that?
I don't know if we got to replay that. I was watching it live, and Josh Stoddy come off the wall. Kyle Steckley was the lane below him. Stoddy hung left without signaling, and Steckley was still there. He ran across the nose of Steckley's car. They went down into turn 1, and Kyle Steckley wasn't going to take it.
Now I'm wondering if that part is a part of Steckley's car or a part of Stoddy's car.
It could be a piece of the 17.
Well, either way, guys, they have not sent him to the pits, so it looks like the officials are okay with whatever's going on there.
I don't think it's going to throw up a very good wind tunnel number like that, but
if I'm behind him, I'm a little uncomfortable.
I'm thinking if you want to pass him to the outside, though, is that not in your way?
You're a brave man to go high on the 22 right now.
Yeah, I think I'm going low.
But this has championship implications, and I'm not sure if we did get a look in the truck at what exactly happened there going into one, but
you could bet if they caught it, we'd be watching it right now. So
now, does Stoddy make the best choice out of this? Because he's going to take the time.
Here got the replay right here. So this is the after. Okay, there was stuff that went on before this. And again, I mean, Steckley stuck his nose in there, but if you just saw that clip and didn't see what happened before that, there was more to it. It was the couple seconds before that. Again, Steckley or Stoddy Hunter left on the front stretch wasn't clear.
That's right. He was not clear. And there you see the crew doing the work on the left front of that car where the contact was. And like I think Stoddy probably made the best choice out of this. You've got a chance to get to the pits. You're going to go to the back anyway. Get to the pits, have them quickly check that car over, and then take the chance to make your way as far as you can.
So it looks like we got a replay of when the part actually comes off the car. Have a good look at it. It looks like it is a piece off the 17. Yeah.
Well, look who lined up right behind the 22. Stoddy back out. We'll see if this brings us any fireworks, guys.
The thing is, the championship picture, I mean, the guy that's got to be grinning like a Cheshire cat right now is the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick. Both the guys chasing him are chasing him on the racetrack. Green flag back out, going to be 22 to go. Rick Spencer-Walt's going to pinch Joe Lawrence down into turn 1. Battle for the lead off turn 2. Lawrence on the low side in that Danny Benedict-owned automobile. Spencer-Walt up the high side. They're going to race side by side off turn 4. At the line, Rick Spencer-Walt by a hair. You still got Wickett in the mix. He's side by side with J.R. Fitzpatrick. Tom Gibbons now up into the top 5. What a run for the Southampton driver. You got Matt Pritico, Connor James racing right behind that. Dale Shaw, who hasn't been a factor all day, up into 8th. Gord Shepard 9th. Sheridan up to 10th.
Well, Gibbons now is going to have a tough decision. What line am I going to pick? I got a chance to go high and go low. Which line is going to move? This is a tough decision to make.
Probably the one Blair Wickett's not in if he's fast enough to get by the Polar Blair. You see Joe Lawrence now side by side with 2nd with J.R. Fitzpatrick out front. Rick Spencer-Walt, your leader. Lawrence on the bottom. Fitzpatrick, great job on the outside. He's going to clear Lawrence down into 3. Now Wickett going to start beating away. A little rat-a-tat-tat on the back bumper of the 54 of Joe Lawrence, but Wickett unable to get by. He's got Tom Gibbons breathing down his neck. They are all single file. Steckley deep in the pack trying to get around Andrew Gressel as we see him and Stoddy trying to get what they can here in the late going.
Now, who's first to get anxious? Who's first to make that bumper move? Who's going to try a bump and run? Who's going to get the best move coming out of a corner? That's where things are going to stack up a little bit. Not for the leader. I think Spencer-Walt might check out here on the rest of the field, but everybody else, they've got somebody to race for position.
Well, and even if J.R. Fitzpatrick can reel in Spencer-Walt, do you think he's going to rough him up to get by at this point when he knows he's looking at adding 10 or 12 points to that championship lead right now? Steckley is a desperate man deep in the pack, working behind the 81 of Gressel, but it's your point leader running 2nd right now. There you see Wickett trying to hold off the 10 of Tom Gibbons. Matt Pritico, 3-time winner here at Sauble. He sits 6th with the 83 of Dale Shaw in tow.
And the first one to get anxious is Lawrence in the 54. Last time through 1 and 2, he tried the low side. Now he goes to the high side. The power move by Lawrence on the outside of J.R. Fitzpatrick. If that line starts moving, they're going to pinch J.R. right down to the bottom.
And I'm wondering if something might be amiss with that 84 car. He hasn't been passed too many times tonight. Lawrence gets him on the outside. Now we see Wickett piling in on the outside as well. Could be a possible problem with that 84 machine. With 10 to go, Fitzpatrick coming under fire by Blair Wickett. And JR, you bet he's just trying to hold on right now.
And your leader, Spencer-Walt, is saying, please, you guys just keep battling back there. Y'all have some fun. I'm going to put this bad boy in cruise control. This time by 8 laps to go, and that far to a checkered flag on a night when I don't even know if he thought he had the car to get a checkered flag.
Rick Spencer-Walt having a great night here this evening. He was a winner at our opener at Sunset Speedway way back in May. Spencer-Walt in that 31W. Caldecott Millwright Services. Check that CM Precision and Machining, the sponsor on that 31W from Hawkstone, Rick Spencer Walt down the backstretch. He's got half a straightaway over Joe Lawrence with less than 10 to go. It's another 12 car lengths back to Fitzpatrick, who's got Blair Wickett on his back bumper. Gibbons runs a close 5th, then Pritico 6th, Shaw 7th, 8th is Connor James, 9th Gord Shepard. Back up into the top 10 flying Ryan Kimball. Steckley runs 11th and is in danger right now of seeing that point lead go from 12, or the deficit go from 12 to 20.
And doesn't it seem like everybody is almost content right now? Nobody's trying anything crazy. This time by 3 laps to go. If anything's going to happen, it's kind of mid-pack right now. Top 3 have kind of moved away from the rest of the field. Everybody just seems like, hey, we've done what we needed to do. We're in a good spot right now.
Here comes Tom Gibbons. He's getting racy. Gibbons running back in 5th spot, putting the pressure on the polar Blair Wickett. Pritico and Shaw going at it as well. White flag set to come out this time by your leader down into 1 as you see that Gibbons Wickett battle. Here's your leader in the CM Precision Machine. Down the backstretch, Rick Spencer Walt. He was a winner at Sunset Speedway earlier this year. For the 2nd time this year, Rick Spencer Walt's going to go to victory lane. Jordan Lawrence finishes 2nd. Fitzpatrick 3rd, Wickett 4th. Gibbons in 5th. 6th goes to the 21 of Pritico. Dale Shaw 7th. 8th Connor James. 9th flying Ryan Kimball. And I believe the 22 of Steckley slipped up into the top 10. You see Stoddy not too happy with Steckley after the race, still showing his displeasure.
This might be the most interesting start-finish line celebration ever. We might not have a driver to talk to. He might not be able to get out of the car. I don't think he's going to jump up and down on the hood.
No, definitely not. Rick Spencer, well, we thought a couple weeks ago he was going to have a substitute driver in this car the last 2 races of the year, but again, his knee surgery's been pushed off, so I'm going to climb back in the car and drive myself tonight, and I guess it's probably a good choice.
Yeah, I'd say it's a great choice, and he deserves to have a celebration down the backstretch, which he's going to do right now, and I don't blame him. But that was a solid race all the way through. We went 70 laps, green flag. What an amazing job under the conditions the drivers had today, and congratulations to Rick Spencer Walt as he brings her right to the start-finish line.
That's CM Precision, number 31. Great performance here by Rick Spencer Walt.
And a great way to finish off another super night here at Sauble Speedway. Of course, we're going to come back here next weekend. We got Saturday and Sunday night racing. It's been a great year. Thanks to you guys. APC, wonderful to work with. Had a great time. Hope you guys had fun. And it doesn't need to be a race night. You can always come to visit the beach.
You can never go around with the beach and or a racetrack.
Right. That's right.
Clinton Jeffries will throw it down to you. Rick Spencer Walt. We know he's going to be ginger getting out of the car here, but taking all the safety equipment off. I'm sure the knee feels better than if he had to finish 2nd, though.
Yeah, you got to imagine things are going to be a bit better for Rick here. We'll give him a moment to get out. As you can imagine, he'll take a moment, let that knee kind of settle down. But I'm thinking the adrenaline's going to be pumping. We just need to get him out as quickly as we can before the pain starts. If it hasn't already, we'll talk about it. Talk about an Ironman drive here tonight. We've seen it 2 weeks ago at Sunset. Since the Sea-Doo accident took him out here. And we'll get Rick out. Well, how about it? Sauble Speedway, let him know you appreciate his hard work at the beach tonight as he climbs out of the car and struggles with a bad leg. How about it for Rick Spencer Walt?
I don't think we're going to see Carl Edwards backflips or anything like that tonight.
Well, Rick, how about it, fans? Rick, what a drive here, man. 2 races in a row. Your leg is so beat up, and you managed to drive so good. You got it done tonight. Can you imagine you would have done that earlier this evening?
Well, yeah. I mean, the car was really good through practice. We had Mike McCall working on this thing today, and I don't think we have anybody better around here to be working on stuff. So getting Mike's hand on the car today, you see what we can do, a little bit of extra help, and we can lay a stomp on ourselves.
Great job. You won race number 1 and race number 8. Great season so far. What do you got planned for Delaware?
Yeah, I don't know. I think after this, maybe we'll go Friday night and run the 70-lapper, see what we can do there, and prep for the year end. I don't know if we got a shot at the points. JR ran good again tonight, which they always do, so good for them. But I got to thank a lot of sponsors here tonight. Strike Energy Systems, CM Precision and Machining, KOD Disposals on here, TL Tire, ImageWraps.ca wraps the thing. He doesn't look as beauty as it did before, but he does a hell of a job of wrapping cars around here and all over the province. GreenSteelRoof.ca, Jim Wilson Chevrolet. The Frame Shop, Heidi's RV, gave us an RV for the weekend to use. It's just been an awesome weekend. Eldon, my smoking hot wife, for sticking behind me, my kids, everybody. The whole team worked really hard today. So obviously McCall Enterprise too. We wouldn't be here without them.
How about for Rick Spencer-Walt, ladies and gentlemen? He picks up the win here at the beach. We'll get over here and talk to the fill-in driver of the day, Joe Lawrence. Joe, you're filling in for Danny Bennett, but today, a pretty good drive, man. This car was a rocket ship tonight. Make you want to get back in there full-time or what?
Yeah, I think so. This was a ton of fun. I got to thank Danny and his team, all the sponsors that get the car out here. Just appreciate the opportunity to come out, have some fun, and see where I stack up against the top guys. It's been a while, but we shook the rust off pretty good, and a couple more laps, we might have got it, but 100 laps is what it is, and I'm happy with a second.
Yeah, it's been all a long season. We haven't seen many guys go around the outside of the 84 at the end of these races. Good drive there.
Well, that's just respectful racing from JR. When I was done after 2020, there wasn't many people that raced me with as much respect as JR, so that was him helping me out, giving me a shot to go try and chase Ricky down. So thank you to that. And really, it was just a lot of fun to be out here.
Right on, Joe Lawrence, the 2020 champ. Back over here, we'll get over here and talk to J.R. Fitzpatrick. Well, closing in on that championship, bud. You got one more race to go. Just a quiet day. Was that the plan? Stay out of the headlines tonight?
Yeah, it was definitely just a hang-around kind of day. It definitely sucks racing like that. It's not fun. The car was pretty good. I don't think we were as good as the 31 or the 54. That's why I pulled over, let the 54 go, and it almost got me right where in the wall there. That was a scary moment. But car's in one piece. Crew worked really hard today. We were really quick, and I'm just excited that we gained a little more points. And hi to Shelly, Willow, and my girls at home, Alora and Emily, and Highline. They're watching the show, so hi, guys.
Right on. J.R. Fitzpatrick third. You got Joe Lawrence as a fill-in second, and your winner. A wild drive for Rick Spencer-Walt here tonight. That'll wrap things up from Victory Lane. We'll send it up to Jamie and Dave to take us home here from Sauble Speedway.
Yeah, one through the finishing order. Great interviews down there. Clint looking good in that Fast Eddie racewear, and of course a fabulous finish to a great night. Another great trip to Sauble Speedway here for 2022. We'll run down the final finishing order for you. At the conclusion of tonight's race, of course, your winner, Rick Spencer-Walt. Second went to Joe Lawrence. Third, J.R. Fitzpatrick. Fourth place was Blair Wickett. Fifth place, Tom Gibbons. Sixth place, Matt Perdigo. Coming home seventh, Dale Shaw. Eighth was Connor James. Ninth, Gord Shepard. Rounding out the top 10 was Ryan Kimball. Finishing 11th tonight, Kyle Steckley. 12th, Jake Sheridan. 13th, Andrew Gressel. 14th, Josh Stoddy. 15th, Dwayne Baker. 16th was James Horner. 17th, Billy Schwartzenberg. 18th, Jordan House. Sean Chenoweth was 19th, and Shea Gemmel, after leading much of the early going, came home 20th. 21st, Zach Sprung. 22nd, Junior Farley, and not able to make the green tonight, Eric De La Riva, after a late issue. The point lead, 12 coming into tonight from J.R. Fitzpatrick. Back to Kyle Steckley, unofficially up to 20 now, heading into our season finale. The Great Canadian Race. Hopefully you can join us at Delaware Speedway. That'll be September 23rd, 24th, 25th. The Quick Championship decided on Friday night, and the APC title decided on the Saturday night. Dave, your closing thoughts on a great night here at the beach?
Wow.
fantastic competition, but you come to expect that from the best drivers in the province, and the APC series did not disappoint tonight. We had lots of green flag racing. We had the competition when we needed it. We had the respect when it was needed. You can't ask for much more. What a great race and a great way to get ready for our final weekend here at Sauble Speedway. And as always, thanks to you guys. Thanks, Clinton. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks to all the crew. And we love having G-Force here. Come back and visit. We'll do another day at the beach.
A great night. Obviously, Mr. friend Adam Ross. Look forward to joining him soon. On behalf of myself, G-Force TV, Clint Jeffries down in the pits. I'd like to thank you for watching tonight. We'll look forward to seeing you next time on G-Force TV.
Copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of G-Force TV. G-Force TV would like to thank you for your support and for watching today's broadcast.